was a comment that was made on Facebook the other day about being a submissive woman. They were saying that a submissive woman controls her man, and I agree with that. I think until we begin to talk in honesty and transparency and stop pandering to both sides, especially to the sisters, because there is so much entitlement, and because men have been quiet for so long, and it's been the men that has been quiet were the type of men that y'all really need to be listening to. The men that doing the most talking ain't the ones, they don't have nothing to say anyway.
What's good? It's your boy Quay Price, man, holding it down for Kandid Konvos. Definitely check us out every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. People today, they lazy. Ain't nobody trying to put in no work. If stuff start getting a little rough in the relationship or in the marriage, ain't nobody trying to fix nothing. Like, I mean, that's how people's mindsets are today. Yeah, but that's how I know that folks don't truly understand what marriage was about, because they tap out way too easy. Yeah, you see people fight harder for a job, like they can't go get another one of them in 2 weeks. Yeah, she's talking about these guys coming to these foreign countries and sourcing out these foreign women because they possess these character traits. Yep, they're more cooperative when it comes to a man, or they're more cooperative when it comes to a marriage and a relationship. They're more, nurturing forward when it comes to a relationship. They're more I don't even want to use the word soft, but I'll use the word soft. They're softer when it comes to, these relationships and interactions with men and so forth. And like I said, we definitely got to be honest. We see a difference, right? We see a difference. And I think, Chloe and Tay made some good points earlier. A lot of this stuff is based around money over here in the West. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Kandid Konvos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Vince on deck. We got Coco on deck. Say what's up to the people, y'all.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
What's going on? All right. Shout out to everybody joining us tonight. If you haven't already, smash that like button. Likes are free. Smash that like button. Also, hit that subscribe. Let's say shout out to all my YouTube folks out there. Hit that subscribe button for us. Don't cost you a thing. Hit that subscribe button for us. I said, join us so you can get alerted when we drop this content, drop these conversations. So definitely hit that subscribe, hit that like button. Definitely hit that like button, and also hit that share. Like I said, we want to get this out to as many of our people as possible. All right, let me do this real quick as we get into this conversation. All right, cool. Here's the link to join us on the panel. You can drop this in your Google Chrome, your Microsoft Edge. If you're coming through an Apple device, you got to use Safari. But yeah, join us up here on the panel. Get in on this great conversation. Like I said, we want to hear perspectives from everybody. Like I said, this is not an echo chamber show. We don't always agree. We don't always disagree. But these are real conversations from real people from different walks of life. So definitely join us. Like I said, don't be scared. The platform is open to anybody who's willing to come on up here and give their 2 cents. You know what I'm saying? You can do it in the comments as well. But we always encourage you to get on the panel with us. But in addition to the video feed, we have this link in all the chat feeds as well. So you can catch it at the Kandid Konvos page on Facebook and YouTube. So yeah, definitely join us on the panel. I'll leave this link up here for a little bit as we get into the conversation. All right, let's see what we got going on. Okay, nobody checking in just yet. A little quiet. Well, I'll take that back. Shout out to Kenyatta in the building. She said happy Wednesday. What's going on, Kenyatta? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight. It's going to be an interesting conversation tonight. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. Let's see. I think that's all of that. I think that's all the housekeeping. Let's see. Okay. I think that's everything. All right. So we can go and get right on to it. We ain't going to hold it up tonight. So topic for tonight. Black people lack discernment. That boy amped up right there. Hold on. Let me bring that down a little bit. All right. Topic for tonight. Black people lack discernment. All right, it's a little better. All right, so anybody leave this link, let me know. I'll put it back up on the screen. But let's say once again, it's in all the chat feeds. All right. So we got an interesting topic tonight. I was gonna let this blow by, but I see we hot. This topic is hot. I see everybody talking about it. But I'm seeing a lot of different perspectives on it. So I said, let me, Coco, go ahead now. I think that's beatboxer down there. I said, let me go ahead and grab this one so we can get into it. Let me see. I keep hearing all type of beeps. Hold on. Okay, that's JR. You got that? All right, cool. So yes, I've been seeing all different types of perspectives around this topic. But yeah, I see something in general going on. So I got a couple videos. Yeah, let's say this was a hot week, man. I feel like I got like 30 videos that came over. I could only use a couple. But I'm gonna start it out like this. And listen, I know all this stuff is alleged right now, so I'll just say alleged. We'll get into the conversation. I got a couple that's tied to this particular topic with Shannon. So we're gonna run a couple of these and then we'll get into it.
You're just gonna like get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
what does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
oh Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna choke out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
Oh, come on.
Okay, so that's the first little snippet right there. I'm gonna run Shannon coming right back behind that with his response.
Family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
All right. So that's Shannon right there responding. I'm gonna loop one more in there real quick, just to give a little external context.
It does not matter if the allegations are true or not. Once you are accused of something such as rape, and it's with a younger adult, there's a big significant age gap, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. And that's the part that a lot of y'all are failing to realize. Y'all are failing to realize that once you are already accused of something such as this, they're going to automatically find you guilty morally in general. We know a little bit too much about Shannon Sharpe's personal life, and that right there is starting to take a toll on his brand. I am in complete disagreement with a man or a woman that is of that age, 56, dating, courting, and having any type of sexual encounters with a 19-year-old, because it doesn't matter if it's legal. Morally, it's just incorrect, it's not right, and it's just disgusting. I'm sorry. But let's just say you are a person that's rolling down that line of work. What are you going to do to protect yourself? I'm more disappointed with Shannon that he played a stupid game with a young girl and won a stupid prize. When you asked her to sign the NDA and she declined, that's when you should have went on about your rich business. But you didn't, because men, for some reason, do not know how to have discipline in areas where it really matters. Shannon Sharpe comes off as a very well-calculated, disciplined, self-controlled individual, but you don't have any self-control where it really counts. I'm more disappointed at the fact that he's 56 years old and super successful, and you're moving as if you should have been moving this way in your younger years. At 56, you should be moving with a little bit more grace, a little bit more polish, and you should be calling the shots on who you're dealing with. You don't let no 19-year-old little nobody call a shot and tell you, no, I ain't signing nothing that you know is for protection of your name, your brand, your family, and everything that you have going for yourself. Now that you have announced the $100 million contract, and young girls are going to seek out older men that's thirsty, such as yourself. And y'all keep thinking that these young girls is for y'all. I understand that men scope out younger girls for a good time, but understand that young girls scope out older men for gains, financial gains. That's it, that's all. So if y'all know that y'all both there to do a job, make sure that you're protecting yourself and make sure you're doing your job. Because when y'all out here dealing with these young girls, what are you doing to protect yourself? What are you doing to protect yourself from rape allegations? What are y'all doing to protect yourself from getting them impregnated? Or is y'all just that pressed to where y'all don't have no control downstairs? Your brain is a muscle and your penis is a muscle. I hate that y'all exercise y'all mind, but y'all don't exercise your penis to where it's just as strong as your mind when your mind is telling you, nope, that's not a go. Nope, I shouldn't do this. Nope, I'm gonna let that one pass. It's okay to skip a girl or two. But this is something else that men need to understand. When we're talking about an older woman scoping out a younger man, it's usually for financial gains. When you're talking about an older man scoping out a younger woman, he comes out of his financial gains. It brings him to his knees. So although neither one is correct, men got to understand that when y'all are dealing with younger women, y'all are at more jeopardy than a woman that's dealing with a younger dude that's successful. There's no L for her in that. If y'all
All right, so I'm gonna hold it right there. Let's say she was laying it out. Shout out to I think it's Chevy Chase. I think it's her name. Shout out to her. Let's say she dropped some good content out here. Okay, so yeah, so y'all saw a couple videos. We had some of the, I'm gonna just say alleged. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. The alleged leaked tapes of some of the conversation between Shannon and this young lady. We also had a video from Shannon, you know what I'm saying, giving his side of the story, saying that it was a shakedown, and, you know, this Tony Busby allegedly, you know what I'm saying, is trying to set him up and get some money up out of him. In addition to that, I did hear some additional things. I did hear allegedly, you know what I'm saying, Shannon tried to make a payment to the young lady prior to this stuff hitting. So I think the lawyers was in conversations on both sides. He tried to make a little, offer to kind of make this go away before it turned into what it is now. And it sounds like, the other side may have just kind of went on and jumped and came on out public with it. I did see that the young lady, I guess she's suing him for $50 million. I think that was the number. And then I also did see that he was up for some $100 million contract, tied to Club Shay Shay and some of his other endeavors he's got going on. So a lot going on. So yeah, tonight we're talking Black people lack discernment. So I want to get y'all opinion on this. What do y'all think about this Shannon situation? Good or bad? Is this something that fellas need to check, because I know this whole, I think as I understand it right now, Shannon's like 56, and this young lady is like 19, 20 years old. I think she's some type of OnlyFans model or something like that. Well, you know, let me correct myself. I got to stop calling them models. She's some type of OnlyFans lady. So let me be politically correct in my statement.
You called her a lady as well.
Say that again, JR.
You called her a lady as well.
He's saying you shouldn't be calling her a lady. You should be calling her something else.
Period.
Oh, my bad. I'm trying to be politically
Why
correct.
she a lady? So she gets called a lady.
You know what? I ain't about to do this with y'all right now. See how y'all gonna tone police me right now? Is that what we doing?
Don't put her name in the same conversation with me. I'm a lady.
No, you're right. You're right. So let me. Okay, so she's an OnlyFans employee. Let me just say that. Is that a little
call
better?
her an influencer. She is an influencer, all right.
Okay, well we call it influencer then.
Let her do that.
But yeah, I want to get y'all opinion. So what do y'all think? You know what I'm saying? Good or bad in this Shannon situation? I know the conversations that have been taking place around this age difference, you know, and that whole standard that exists and the age difference stuff. So yeah, I want to hear from y'all. Let me take these comments, then I'm gonna come to the panel and we'll get into this Oh, they in here. Man, they on here already. Let's see. Shout out to Donovan. He said, "What up, though? What's going on, Donovan? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight, holding us down." He also said, "Sucker." Oh, okay. Well, go and get straight to it. I ain't mad at it. See, Kenyatta said Monique told him to leave those young girls alone. Facts. I remember that Shay episode. She sure did. She did tell him to leave. I think she kind of told him he need him a grown woman, you know. Yeah. So shout out this comment. That's facts right there. Let's see. Shout out to Marjorie in the building. She said, "What's up, Power Panel? What's going on, Marjorie? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight. Definitely go check her out, Marjorie with a Purpose. She dropped some great content, great conversations over there. Definitely check her out." She also said, "I'm kind of on the fence on this situation." I understand. We just getting into it. We just getting into the conversation. Kenyatta said, "Let's see. The people on FB are saying when Shannon was younger, he was broke, ugly, and poor, and the women did not find him attractive. Now he can almost get who and what he wants." I don't know. I'm gonna hold this one for a
That's
minute.
some shade right there. That is not true.
I'm gonna hold this one for a minute. I understand what you're saying, Kenyatta. I'm gonna hold this one for a minute. We might circle back to this. See, Donovan said, "Let's see, he offered her $10 million. She declined because after lawyer fees and taxes, she'd only pocket $1 million." Man, if that's true, that's some wild stuff. So she got to cough up 9 off the top. Man, that's wild. I'm gonna leave that right there though. Let's see. She's a man. I see how y'all about to do tonight.
You can't make this shit up.
Let's see how this is about to go. All right, let's get into this conversation. So anybody on the panel, man, come off mute. Say what you want to say. What y'all think about it? Give me y'all input on this because I got some thoughts myself. Go ahead, Vince. I saw you coming off, man. B-Box, you up next.
Well, I think in this day and age, well, first of all, this is rich people's problems to a certain extent.
Right.
And I don't necessarily have a problem with the age thing. Older men have always liked younger women. Women have always liked older men. Now, this is a little extraordinary, but anyway, I think that in this day and age, you have to understand that your life is in the media. So you have to have discernment. You have to have big discipline because now everything you do is in the media. Your lifestyle, how you carry yourself, who you date matters now. We didn't have all this social media when Michael Jordan was getting famous, when Dr. J had a baby out of wedlock and all that. Now you have to understand that this is the world we live in. And this is why most smart men get married. You'll hear this about LeBron. I mean, you heard about Kobe, but smart men get married because then they take it away a little bit on your personal. But as far as Shannon, just like I told you, men are nasty. And I think he's always been like that. He's always like young white women. But now that he's at a certain level, he clubbed Shay Shay's $100 million contract, you can't move like you used to move.
Right.
So at this point, I think he can't trust no woman. So it would be more beneficial for him to find him somebody that's maybe in her 20s or 30s, get married, have her sign a prenup, and roll with that instead of just fucking these randoms. Because it's all about money.
Yeah. No, that's real right there. So you don't just to get some clarification, then I'm coming to you, beatboxers. So we don't, right now as it stands, we don't see an issue with the 36-year gap. So essentially we talking 20. I'm just gonna say, I think she's 19 or 20. I'm just gonna say 20. So we talking 20 to 56. We don't see any issue with the age with the 36 years.
I say when you grown, you grown. When you 18, you are able to go to the military and die for this country. You grown. Okay. Women, and I hate to say this because I don't necessarily believe in that, but women can do, they don't go that far, but they'll go 20 years and they applauded for it. Ooh, she got her a young man. He doing her thing. So life is a double standard anyway. And it don't matter if it's right or wrong. It is what it is. It don't matter if he innocent. He should have known better.
Right.
He should have paid her. He should have paid her that first night and left her in the room. See, sometimes you stay at the party too long. See, he should have moved like James Bond. James Bond went out the country, had his little flangy flang, and he left it there. He tried to have a relationship with a prostitute. That's where he went wrong at. And then he was probably trying to break up with her. And she was like, nah, ain't going to happen like this. And this could have been any age. They talk about, they would have did it if she was 34. Because if they can get that money, they going to get that money. Period. 34, 24, 44, 54.
I feel that right there.
You're going to pay me for my services.
No, I feel you. Let me keep going. I'm coming to you, beatboxer. I know you's up next. Let me get these comments. I'm coming to you, beatboxer. Let's see. Shout out to Tiffany Weaver in the building. She said too big of an age gap. Okay. Tiffany said that 36. That's too much. Okay, I appreciate that right there, Tiffany. Let's see. Marjorie. She said women play the same game. Yeah. No, I understand this as well. Because I said at the end of the day, the reason I asked Vince that question is, I said there's a double standard. Yes, because we know ladies, will get with these older cats. I said them age. I've seen situations with ladies in their 30s and dude was in his 80s, but he had that money, so they went and got with him. And I said I'm not saying they wasn't taking advantage of the situation and trying to leverage and do all of that, but they did it. And to Vince's point, sometimes we champion that. We can, hey girl, you got you one. You know what I'm saying? And that whole thing. So yeah, I just want to put the question out there. Let's see. Donovan said, I think she was assigned to him in order to crush his fame. Okay, Donovan, I said that could be valid. My question is just always why we keep falling in the trap though. Yeah, so it could be a setup. I said I'm gonna say it's all alleged at this point, but once again, like the young lady said, like Chevy Chase said in the video, why we keep falling for the okie doke? Like, come on now. Let's see. Kenyatta said a lot of men in the Facebook groups are saying what Vince is saying. Okay, all right. Shout out to that. All right, let me come on back to Beatbox. I know he's up next. Go ahead, Beatbox.
Yeah, Vince used the word extraordinary. That's an understatement. Man, first and foremost, I'm from Maryland, still live in Maryland, and I'm about like 20 minutes from Baltimore. So I watched Shannon Sharp play in my state at the tail end of his career. So I really do have a fondness for him. But I gotta say, even if this is untrue, Shannon Sharp's an idiot. And I think this kind of goes back to the kind of conversation we had last week where men claim they want to be leaders and all that, and then they find themselves in these crazy situations. And also, it's really weird to me. Well, it's not weird. It all kind of exposes to men who claim to be high value and whatnot, doing very very low value things. So money and fame does not hide who you truly are too. So it's something Shannon Sharp even says. Money and power really just exposes who you truly are. So if you're an old dude trying to have sex with a relationship with a 19-year-old hooker, I mean, bruh, that's embarrassing. And I don't, if that's the best of it. And you got men trying to defend the age gap. That's wild to me. I find that to be, you're kind of giving a lot of women ammo. To be honest, the women you claim that you don't like to, you're kind of like giving them ammo. Like, hey, these guys who claim to have money and power and all that, look at them. Even if they get money and power, they're still idiots and morons, and they're using the wrong brain as using the wrong muscle, as the last video stated. So, man, like I kind of get where Shannon's going with the lawyer. So the lawyer, Mr. Bigsby. I think he's about to lose his license in New York because he tried to shake down Jay-Z. And so that didn't go through with, I think, the Diddy case. I think he also represented Mr. Cohen when he was a part of the Trump administration. And then obviously that did not go well for him either. So, yeah, man, at the end of the day, I want to believe Shannon didn't do anything. I want to. But I don't put anything past no man. And at the end of the day, Shannon is a moron for trying to have relations and a relationship with somebody so young and who's going to shake him down. So that's how I feel about it.
Okay, appreciate that right there. Coco, JR, Joe, come on. I saw you come off, Coco. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off of what D Boxer said. Like, I totally agree. I understand, older men, fancying younger women. I get it, and like you said, some older women who also, fraternize with younger men. But I'll be honest, you're right about the double standard. But here's how the double standard works in a woman's favor versus a man's favor. A young man, you don't hear a lot of this stuff happening with older women when they fool around with young men. However, this is notorious for young women to do this to older men. They are notorious for doing this. It's different. It's different. It's different for a 40-year-old woman to be messing around with a 20-year-old man. I mean, a 20-year-old young man. Than for even a 40-year-old man to be messing with a 20-year-old woman, or 50, in this case 56 and 20. Like, it's just different because that young woman, her mindset completely different than that young man. Completely different. So while I agree, women do it too. I'm not saying they don't, but this is where the double standard works in a woman's favor and it works against a man. Right? Like, young men, they just gonna have fun with that chick, get whatever they can get out of her, and then go on about their business. And it'll be an experience for them. They just had that experience. But a young woman is always looking out for what she can get out of it, and it's never going to be enough. She's always going to be trying to get the most. She's always going to be doing the most, right? So I think that this is why people are saying it was not wise. It wasn't wisdom for him to put himself in this particular situation. And then to find out that he did ask her to sign an NDA and she turned it down. That's crazy. Like, you already know. If she was just there to have a good time and was willing to take whatever you were giving her, then why not sign the NDA, right? We know what it is. We know what this is, right? If you don't want to sign it, why? That's where he messed up at, because she showed her cards. She showed, and he should have been willing to walk away, because I'm pretty sure there's another OnlyFans model out there that will sign the NDA and go on about her business and get whatever she can get out of it and go on about her way. Like, this is where we're saying it doesn't make sense. It is giving, it's giving thirsty. It is giving that. It's giving desperate, because for you to be in your position, why her? Why set yourself up like that? It's just not worth it.
Now, I want to say something right quick. Now, I would say that back in the day, but we just had a 38-year-old woman have a baby with a 22-year-old basketball player for his money. We just had another 38-year-old girlfriend have a baby with a 22-year-old that's the same age as her son for money. So in a lot of these situations, these older women didn't have millions of dollars. They were just out there for the cat. So it's turning a little bit now. And when you at his level, it's all about money. Ain't nobody just having a good time, just wanting to go on a date. They about either you gonna get me a purse, Shannon, you gonna take me to this, Shannon. And I don't care if she was 19 or 30. If she was 30, what would be the big difference? Or if she was 35, she still would have sued her. It didn't really matter about the age. If she was a 30-year-old OnlyFans and he tried to break up with her, she was gonna sue him. I think the thing about it, and then also a DNA does not protect you against sexual assault. I don't know if y'all knew that. That don't protect you against. So there is no protection.
Right,
you
but
can't protect yourself monetarily. You just take the chance. And to his point, he should have never took the chance.
What the NDA will do, though, is some of the stuff that she's publicly coming out and saying, it wouldn't be so easy for her to come out and make these claims and say these things.
It doesn't,
because then
it doesn't protect you against sexual assault. It doesn't protect you against sexual assault. So she could have signed it.
Okay.
It's still because she's coming out with she was assaulted, Chloe. So it wouldn't have made a difference.
Okay, so I'm gonna finish now.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is this: the NDA can serve as a form of protection for two reasons, right? One, no, anybody can still come back and claim anything. However, there are certain protections in place and something that he can do, like he's suing for defamation, right? But he also would have a more legal ground if she had signed that NDA as well. He would have more legal ground. It wouldn't stop her from saying whatever she wanted to say. Can't stop her from saying that. However, in the court of law, right, this is all about what you can prove. This is all about, and if she signed her name on a dotted line, he would have more legal footing, right? Two, another form of protection that the NDA is, it shows you kind of a person's motive. When she didn't want to sign it, that should have been a huge red flag for him. That should have really been like a, hey, why you want to sign it? He's already admitted that he don't mind tricking on the chick. He already said that. So she would have got stuff off of him. Like he's already said he don't care. He don't care about buying purses. He don't care about buying. He said, I don't care. He don't care about that, right? The problem is she already knew she wanted more. She was already setting him up. She already knew this where she was going to take this. So when she didn't want to sign that NDA, that should have been his first indication that she wasn't to be trusted. This one ain't to be trusted. I can't trust her. So I need to move around. I think that's what people are saying. Like the age gap matters because you should be old enough to use wisdom, right? Like at your big old age, you let this 20-year-old girl outsmart you. Like it don't look good. It just doesn't look good for your brand. It doesn't look good for you. Like 36 years is a big gap. She should not have been able to get this over you. She should not have this over you, right? This is why it makes the age gap even worse. Guy, like you got bested by her. Like we shouldn't even be having this conversation, right? And you're not wrong. Young women do go after young men if they see a come up opportunity, right? And I think Chevy Caprice, I think she even touched on that. Young women will typically do that if they see a come up opportunity. I mean, older women will typically do that if they see a come up opportunity, right? Because for women, it don't matter. They just trying to come up, right? But what I'm saying is they have fewer opportunities to be put in that situation. It's rare. It's still kind of rare. And those dudes, they stupid anyway. But anyway, back to Shannon. Yeah, that's just not taking it. Like this is why it looks even worse, guy. Like you just should have known better. So I feel bad that this is always what happens to these guys. I do feel bad that he's in that situation. only because it's like, dog. How many times are black men going to get caught up like this? Any man, but especially black men, how many times y'all get caught up like this, right? So I feel bad in that sense, but at the same time, he gave what he deserved. You set yourself up.
Okay, appreciate that right there. Go ahead, Joe.
So I like both Vince's and B-Box's perspective. Kind of different. I share more so Vince's perspective in which there's this idea that somehow it's just the older man pursuing the younger women. But even as I got older, I was surprised at how much the younger woman pursued me more. It wasn't no different than when I was in high school and the girls who were my age went for the guys who were 5, 10 years, 15 years older than them. It happened all the time. They pulled up with the Chevys with the rims. They just had something that it was like, what do they got? We don't got. Oh yeah, well, they're just older. So a lot of times it's them pursuing the older man. So that actually is pretty shocking. But there's a narrative that they're being preyed upon, as if there isn't some sort of mutual situation going on here. The reality is that older man of any age, generally likes younger women, and younger women generally likes older men. Sometimes he's pretty close to age, but that's not always the case. In fact, probably not often the case. Secondly, I don't hear a lot of people I guess they do kind of give smoke to Leonardo DiCaprio for the same thing. But he doesn't really care. He's handling his business. I'm sure he has NDAs being signed. People talk about it, but he's still doing it because the women are in agreement with it. So all this whole, they're grooming them, they're women, they're young women, but they're women nonetheless. So we have to stop infantilizing women who are of age to engage in certain activities, to date older men or whatever. Now, as for Sharp, this guy, he should have read the tea leaves when it was presented to him. He had every opportunity to escape when he had the chance to do so. Like Chloe said, not signing the NDA. And it was weird the way she was even talking on the phone. It's like you can, oh my God, you're going to do what to me? How are you going to do it? Wow, choke me. Okay. So he's just kind of like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Oh,
He's like, dude, come on, bro. Like you can't, where is your okay, he's a jock. So a lot of it has to do with that too. He's smart in a lot of ways, but still he has that jock mentality. So I guess some things just never change. But he just got to move differently, especially now he's going to the big time. He's getting signed to big deals and contracts. I don't want that, to be stolen from him because he's saying these words that can easily be taken into the context that I think it is in the context of, because he's emotional. He doesn't know how to control his dick, like everyone said. And who knows what she said to him, but that she's not going to post or clip out and put out there on the internet for the world to see. So I'm sure it's probably a lot of back and forth, but she just clipped a little 30-second clip of him saying something to her. But what about the parts that I'm sure she said to him behind the scenes that they're not capturing? Lastly, that's it.
Okay, I appreciate it. I appreciate that right there. JR, go ahead, man. I saw you come off.
Yeah, everybody's made some really good points there, and yeah, it's a hard one because, like somebody's mentioned that he had plenty of opportunities to obviously escape the situation before he got to this, right? And I totally understand that. And I think the problem that we're having in society is it's that once upon a time there was double standards for both sets of people, and there's been an overcorrection. Maybe once upon a time we'd say maybe so because of what men were doing, etc., to women. So they had to correct it. And in today's society, it just happened that it's an overcorrection from when the change first started to what it is now, right? And I always say, these women can be perceived to be nasty, disingenuous, and whatnot, right? But that's under the current laws that allows them to be like this, because we as men, we are allowing these things to happen. You know, we're not protecting ourselves properly, and because of that, it just seems to be giving women the way out. Whether, you know, like Mr. Vince mentioned, that the only way for a man to protect himself is to be married. No, not necessarily, because somebody outside, you know, can still put a claim on you. So it doesn't really matter, you know. So it's just one of those things where, how do men get by in this universe without having to feel some type of way that a woman might put something on you at any given time? And of course, yes, have discernment, right? But the thing is, it's hard, because any man can get got in the current situation, current laws. Any man, whether you did it or whether you didn't do it. And that's the part where it's hard,
shaking
because
their head,
then,
JR. They shaking their head, man.
nah, I understand. And I think that's the problem, where it's like I said, under the current laws, women can do whatever they want to do. That's just it. But like I said, it's on the men. Does that make sense? Like, yeah, women are gonna do what they're gonna do, but that's not me blaming the women. I'm saying it's still on the men to, whether they change the laws or the men don't act upon, you know, engaging with women in that situation. Hence why I agreed with somebody mentioned the signs were there. Hence why I said he should have seen it. So I can't not say to you, Mr. Sharp, like, hey, the signs were there and you didn't see it. So it's still on the men rather than being on a woman.
I get what you're saying in that point, JR. I get what you're saying. Let me let B-Boss and then Vince respond. And then I got some questions. Go ahead, B-Boss, and then I'm coming to Vince after that.
Sorry, JR. I gotta just disagree. I really irks me when men say the laws. Bruh, nobody's forcing you to be with hookers. Nobody's forcing you to be married to women who don't like you, right? These things that men complain about, y'all put yourselves in those situations. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear, again, like, you can't claim to be not emotional, logical, a leader, and then be like, but this 19-year-old hooker got me. Or I married the wrong lady and she's taking half of my stuff. You didn't know that before? I'm sorry. The laws are not forcing y'all to do anything. Y'all are you're volunteering to be victims. That's really what's happening. I don't want to hear when men complain about, I'm not saying I don't have empathy and I don't have a heart. I'm not saying that. But I am saying men, especially black men, a lot of the situations y'all find yourselves in, you put yourself there.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry. That's how I feel. You put yourself there. Nobody's forcing you to be with women that don't like you. Nobody's forcing you to be with women who don't find you attractive but will take your money. I'm sorry. This is true. So I don't care what. Right? This is what's happening. Like, Shannon Sharp listen, Shannon Sharp is from Georgia. He's from the sticks. He's not that smart. He sounds stupid. Right? He doesn't orate well. I understand there's only going to be a certain type of woman that's going to really like him like that. Right? So tricking for him is what it is. Right? But bro, like, I don't know, man. Like, men complaining about that just kills me. I'm sorry.
He's not very bright. He's not very bright, but he's making millions and millions of dollars outside of the
plenty of people with money who are stupid. There's plenty of people with money who are stupid. Plenty of them.
Yeah.
Most people with money, especially nowadays, got it from their grandfathers and all that. Yeah, the Shannon Sharp was
but that wasn't his case, though.
I know. He's still not that smart. He's just not.
He's not that smart. Okay.
You with a 19-year-old girl, you're not that smart. So you're pretty stupid.
Yeah, nah.
But that was a stupid decision, but that doesn't mean he's not a smart man. Because a lot of men, I'm sure you have done a lot of stupid decisions that hasn't been recorded for the world to see and hear. So that's the difference.
Yeah, let me say this.
Okay. So he's smart.
He's
just not wise.
No. I'm gonna put it to you like this: ain't nobody on this panel got $50 million. I don't care how much she liked you. If you was with her and you slept with her and she broke up, she go try to get your money. I don't care if she liked you, if she thought you. if she can get that money, she gonna get that money. If you look at all the divorces, you can't say, well, she didn't like you, that's why she divorcing you. She divorcing you, and you got money, so she gonna take it. It's that simple.
So yeah,
Now, let me
that man
finish.
is dumb.
Let me finish. Now, in regards to Shannon Sharp, he's probably always moved like that. He's never been married. He's never been linked to a girlfriend. But he didn't have $50 million or $100 million. That's the issue. That's the only issue. So all this, where it don't matter if they like you or not. When he at that level, it's always about money. So you just you just do your best. You try to get the DNA signed, you get a prenup, you get whatever you can. But if it fall away, Michael Jordan's wife took half of his money. You gonna say she didn't like him? Jeff Bezos' wife took half of his
Michael
money.
Jordan cheated on his wife multiple times. Michael Jordan cheated on his wife like 20 times.
That's part of the
He deserved that. She should have took half his money.
What'd you say?
Michael Jordan cheated on his wife like 100 times. Jeff Bezos cheated on his wife. They should have taken their money. They're morons. Men who do this, when you cheat or you're with women who only are in it for the money, that means you're unwise. Let's use the word unwise. You're not using your brain. You probably should be saved. You shouldn't be married then. Just don't do it. Porn isn't out there. Just get women who will sign the NDA. But you're unwise and stupid.
I understand what you're saying, but it's also men who have money that didn't cheat on their wives and they just got a divorce. When you at that level of money, it's all about money. I've had women hit on me and I'm 54 and they 22, 23, 24. It doesn't matter. You just have to, just like your boy Kevin Samuel said, you got to have dick discipline. You gotta understand. You gotta say, is this worth it? And he didn't understand. Okay, I'm not the Shannon Sharp of my playing days. I'm the Shannon Sharp of everybody know who I am. It's people didn't know who. I mean, he wasn't a famous football player. He was good, but he wasn't a Joe Montana or a he wasn't famous. He was a good football player, but now he's a multi-millionaire. So he should have made a better decision. So a chick not like it could have been a 30-year-old. I mean, I don't really think the age is that big. What he should have done, he should have found him somebody from high school or wherever else, from college, linked with her, got married, and said, you know what, because he has to protect his brand. And at that level, can't no woman be trusted. They all in it for the money. And I don't care how good you think you look and how good you think your wife love you. If you got $100 million and you get a divorce, she going to take half. Period, point blank. I'm not going to take it. I don't need it. She going to take it. So I don't think it's about where she didn't like him or she didn't. Shaq's wife liked him. She gonna say that now because they divorced, but you don't think Shaq's wife loved him at the time?
Shaq was cheating on his wife. Why you keep bringing up women that guys are cheating? You
he admitted to that. He admitted. I mean, he admitted he was a horrible husband. So we gonna see that to that.
But what I'm saying is, okay, but they don't really leave for the cheating.
They obviously did. She took half the money. She left and took half his money for the cheating. She did.
The cheating makes it easier. Okay, so the cheating.
I don't know what
makes it.
And I never heard Bezos cheated on his wife. I mean, but I don't know. That's their person. But I'm just saying though, at that level of money, it's all a risk. And he should have been smarter. He should have messed around with her a couple times, gave her a couple $100,000. See, the problem is he tried to have a quasi relationship with her, which he probably could have when he was just Shannon Sharp, Hall of Fame football player. But now you Shannon Sharp, Club, Shay, everybody know you $100 million. Oh, you think you're going to leave me now? You have to pay.
But let me ask this question.
It's just how it is. It ain't got nothing to do if she ain't like him.
Yeah, but let me ask this question though, because I think this, like I said, that's why the show tonight is titled "Black People Lack Discernment." If we're saying that Shannon Sharp is this guy, and and I got some additional questions I'm gonna ask around this, but if we're saying that Shannon Sharp is this successful guy, I'm saying essentially he done made it, right? So he's there, he's making the millions now. from the perspective of discernment, why do the guys in these scenarios continue to pick these girls? So if we're saying that this guy's got these millions, he got this $100 million contract on the line, out of all the women that he probably could choose from, because we know once a man got resources, his pool of selection opens up real wide. So if that is the case, why do these guys at this level, and I know we've made the point that these are rich folks' problems, which that's true to a certain extent, but we do this stuff down at the average level too. Why do we pick these types of girls? Why is it the OF girl? Why is it the little hood chick at Floods? Why is it the girl at the Coney? Like, why do we not pick the cleanest woman, maturest mindset? Like, why do we always go after the 19, 20, all over the place, ain't got nothing going on? Like, why do we pick those women, the women that essentially can really put a tarnish on what you got going on? Because this would look a little different if he was doing this with a professional, and I don't condone it, but if he was doing this with a professional woman, this would look totally different. But we always go pick these types of women to do this with. And then when it backfires, then it's like we looking dumb in the face. And I'm just trying to understand, with all of that money and all of that access and all of those, I'm sure he got mentors all around him. He got other. Why do we choose these specific type of girls to involve in these situations? That's really what I want to understand. I said, for me, this is a discernment issue. Yeah, but it's like we picking specific people, not considering that these specific type of people with this specific type of mindset, like, she's already on OF, so she money driven already. So why would you pick her, knowing that she's already money driven and she's ready to show her body to the world and sell her body and do all type of stuff? So she ain't reputable at all. Why would you pick her to be the one that you want to explore with, then not hold her to the NDA, and now you got this situation going on? Like, why is that the case with all of this access to all these different women that's out here?
Because he can have all of them. Because we forget about Nichelle. That's not Nichelle.
Right.
So he had other women. So it ain't like he had all of them. And I think that, just like I told you, men are stupid. Most men are stupid. We think with our penises. It just is what it is. But that's the difference between, just like a high value man understands that he has to have dick discipline and understand the cost from just thinking with your penis. But just like I said, he's probably moved that way for so long, but he doesn't understand he's in a different situation now.
Right.
He can have all of them. He can have a stripper. He can have a lawyer. He can have them chicks that he interviewing that's trying to throw him that poo-poo, cash doll, whatever. He probably can have her and any other one he want on there. He can have them all. Or he think he can have them all. So that's why.
Right.
That's why, because he can. He can do it because he can. If you ask men why they cheat, they say because they can.
So that's where I'm going with it, right? So you just said that he could have the lawyer. So why not get the lawyer? Like, why do you pick the OF girl?
But who said he don't have a lawyer?
No, I mean, that's okay.
He's not married. He can have any of them. Who said he don't have a lawyer?
No, that's a valid point. But I'm just, once again, I'm talking, from the perspective of discernment. So I said, if you know that you at a certain level and you now have these options, I said, let me ask this question real quick, because I want to get some context. I know we got some ladies in the comments. We got a lady on the panel. Ladies, drop a comment and let me know what y'all think about this. Would y'all consider Shannon Sharpe corny?
Yes.
Okay, so he will be considered corny. I'm just curious.
How would it be considered corny?
Go ahead.
No,
well, I guess Chloe would be able to expound on that.
Sure.
In what way?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You want to respond to that, Coco? In what way would you consider him corny? Listen, ladies, drop a comment as well, because I'm just curious if that's how y'all see Shannon Sharpe.
I know why some men would think it. I know why some men would think it.
I
Hating.
mean,
Hating.
I
Go
think
ahead,
it's his
Coco.
behavior. Like, I think it's his behavior. I think it's the way he presents himself. I think it's the fact that he's always talking about how he don't mind tricking on women and how, you know what I'm saying, this is nothing for him. I think it's corny that he only date young women. Y'all can hate it or love it, hate it or love it. I'll say it this way: the way he speaks, I won't say only, but he speaks about liking to date younger women. So I can only go off of what I know about him, and he tell all his business. Okay, so he's often referred to how he like young women. He said they can keep up with him, right? So there you have it. I think that's corny. I think the fact that he's in this situation proves that he's corny because you can have them all, but wisdom should tell you not to go after them all. So I go back to my original point. Yeah, it's given corny. And when she wouldn't sign that NDA, that should have told you right there. That should have told you right there. But a corny dude, a real corny dude, because the dudes y'all call corny ain't corny.
Right.
They're not corny. This is what you would call corny. Because the minute she said, like Vince said, you can have them all. I don't disagree with that statement. Okay. So if that's the case, then corny dudes would be able to have all of them and still pick the wrong, like the wackest. Like, how'd you end up with this one? This the one you should have threw back. This the one you should have threw back. And if you weren't corny, you probably would have threw her back.
Yeah, no, that's real. No, I appreciate that. I was just curious, because I know even some guys can have money, and still be considered corny or looked at as corny. So yeah, I was just curious to see how the ladies view Shannon. I said, because I know Shannon get money, and all of that, but I'm like, I don't know if the ladies find Shannon attractive like that. Like, I don't know. Shannon might be, and I'm just guessing. Shannon might be one of them dudes like he's got the money, but he might not have the options like we think type of scenario. Like, because a lot of ladies may be looking at him like he corny. So they don't even, so you're going to have opportunists come along, but on some serious stuff, do women view him like that? And I'm like, I don't know. So that's why I wanted to pose the question. Go ahead, B-Box.
Money doesn't unlame people. So, I mean, we gotta go there. I know,
that's a better word. That's a better word, B-Box.
Yeah, like I know like black men get real sensitive about this topic because they hear this from black women a lot. Black women aren't wrong about this to a degree. I'm sorry. It's just true. So if you are weird, lame, awkward, money is not going to change that. That's what I'm saying. Shannon Sharpe is not the brightest. He's not really that guy. He's just got the money and he can catch a ball. It's great. Catch a ball, my man. I mean, so what? That doesn't mean you're going to get women. That doesn't mean you're going to get the women that you claim you can get because you got all this money. Another person, Drake. Another person, we just saw this too. He's lame as all get out. He's got all this money, all this power, right? But he likes them little girls too.
Little girl.
Some of them allegedly a little younger than that, right? So
any man who's successful is corny to you, is what you're saying.
I said no. Kendrick Lamar's not corny. I'm saying certain groups of men. I said Kendrick Lamar's not corny to me. I don't think Barack Obama's corny to me because they stand on business.
Barack Obama's definitely corny. Barack Obama's dedefinitely corny.
Whatever. I'm just saying. Listen, but he's married.
Kendrick Lamar is corny. I mean, because one thing the one thing I've never been a hater. I've never been a hater. See, I think that we using the like nerdy is. I mean, I get what y'all saying, but it's a different ball game when you talking about million. It's just when you dealing with women, it's different. When you have a certain amount of money,
you can still be corny or lame.
Yeah, you can be.
And have a lot of money.
I think Russell Wilson is corny.
He is.
Okay, there we go. Okay,
he is. Right.
Okay.
Oh
my God. And not because he got with Sierra, because Sierra's a beautiful girl. It's just the way that he talks about the situation that I think is corny. It ain't because he married a woman that has a child, because that has nothing to do with it. It's just the way he presents himself to be corny.
But he's in a
success. Yeah, no, but to your point, Vince, a lot of folks label him that way.
Yeah, but with Shannon Sharpe, he just, I think he didn't understand that he had to move differently. And when you get to a certain level, you got to move differently. And he just probably felt like I could still move to where I move. I could still do my little thing. I'm a single man. She grown. She ain't 15. I go out there and fuck her and fuck Michelle and fuck this one and fuck. But you can't do that now. You shot it sharp.
Yeah, and that's partly why I asked the question, Vince. You know what I'm saying? Do the ladies consider him or see him as, you know, as corny, right? Because, you know, in this particular situation, like I said, I'm still saying everything is alleged at this point. But Shannon, in my opinion, he's not moving like somebody who got the millions. And that's why I said it almost comes off like he not used to having it. Because I said, I know everybody has seen a person. What I mean by that is I know everybody has crossed a person in their life at some point who didn't have money. And then they came into some money at some point. They either got a higher position or they hit a lottery or they, you know, a business, you know, they got a business, whatever it is, but they came into some money. And it's like, then they start moving real reckless. And it's like, you can tell somebody, they haven't had it. Like they don't know how to move in a certain situation. It's almost like that, I don't even want to call it excitement, but it's almost like a level of immaturity when you come into these resources. Like you don't know how to move now that you got these resources at your disposal. So now you just out here. Yeah, I want this one. I want that one. I want this one. You know, give me that Bentley. Give me that Rolls Royce. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. You know, then 5 years later, you talking about you done blew all the money. And it's like, wait a minute, bro. So that's kind of what I get from Shannon. It's like he's almost immature to the money and success that he has gotten. Because I know he has some success in football, but I think even the stuff he's got going on now is starting to push past that. So it's like he's not ready, or he's basically he ain't ready for the success that's coming his way. And it's like he don't know how to move in it. So that's just my opinion on that. Let me come down to Hersh, because Hersh been quiet. Herschel, what you say on all this, man? What you thinking, man? Give me the grown man. What you thinking, man?
Yeah, I was initially a little quiet because I didn't really know what y'all were talking about. You know, I just jumped in on things. So now, but I get an idea what you guys are speaking on. I don't know. I think, I mean, I agree with a lot of people what they're saying about the lameness and all that type of stuff. But I think some of us men, we're the flip side of the women, you know, who always go for the bad guy. That's the definition of like, because those women that you described earlier, like the young ones and the ones that are, you know, loud or whatever, OnlyFans ones, OF ones, and all that, they're exciting. They're exciting, and that's just us as human beings, as nature. You know, we like excitement. We like things that just like make like it's like when you go to a showroom or you go to the auto show and you see a nice car, like, oh yeah, you know, versus a standard regular car. So it's like, even though the standard regular car might be more reliable, we want the sports car that's gonna probably, you know, you hit a bump, you're gonna have 4 flats. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's my opinion. I think, and it's not every situation, but I think a lot of times that's what gravitates those men to make those stupid decisions and those choices, and the women they choose, because it's like they're exciting. You know, not saying the regular, you know, mature ladies aren't, but it's just that's what's is being shown. You know what I'm saying? It's like right in your face, so you see it, and so it's like something just you just gravitate to that. You know,
and you know, it's like I like in that when you asked the question earlier, Quay, it's everyone, like Herschel just said, it's the woman going for the bad boy, the guy going for the bad girl, and then what is a bad boy, what is a bad girl? It's just simply they're really being their authentic self, in the sense that there's a dark side that we all have and embody that we all try to hide, and those who don't hide it are the ones who are attracted to us, because that's a reflection of something within us that we are afraid to have within ourselves. So of course the guy's going to like, yeah, I like the lawyer, but I might hit the strip club and get my little fling a little bit here and there, and then go back to my wife at home. So that's how you have that sort of dynamic, and vice versa with women. That's just human nature. You know, it's the difference between going on a kiddie ride at Cedar Point and then going on a Millennium Force. It's like, yeah, I don't want to go on a Millennium Force all the damn time, because I'm going to throw up everything I got in my stomach going on it back and back. But you know, you look at it and you say, you know what, I got to get on that one time. All right, let me double back and do it twice. All right, I had my fill. Let me go back to the kiddie ride. That's just kind of the way we are. That's just the way it is, man.
But see, that might be the problem, though, Joe. Cause see that let me get on there one time. That might be the end of it. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said I tie this
That's
back
what's so
to.
fun about it.
No, I'm just saying I tie this back to discernment. Yes, like our discernment is just it's non-existent, and our mindset is skewed. Yep, going back to the whole, the age discussion that we were having earlier, with the younger women wanting the older men and the older men wanting the younger woman. Is it really? I'm just gonna put this question out there. Is it really that the man needs the younger woman, or is he just looking for a woman that's mature? Like, is it an age thing? That's really what I'm asking. Is it?
But two ain't got nothing to do with sex. He ain't looking to marry these women. See, you got to get it out your mind. And he looking for sex.
Now I get that.
21 or 31, the twat is the same.
I get that. No, I get what you're saying, Vince. No, I'm not asking that question directly about Shannon. I know Shannon was on some. I know what he was doing. So I know what that is.
Okay.
I'm just talking more so our mindset, right? Because typically, let's just take it back. So Joe brought this up earlier. He said, when he was in high school, the fellas used to pull up in the Chevys and they were scooping up the high school girls, and they was older, right? But then the women back then would say that I can't mess with a dude my age because these dudes are immature. So I need an older man. But then to me, that mindset was skewed because I'm like, it's not that you need an older man in age. You need a man that's mature.
You wrong with that, Quay. I'm gonna give you an example. Because when I was in high school, she wanted the older guy because he got the car. She ain't want to catch the bus with you. She want to go to Red Lobster. Red Lobster was hot when she want to go to Red Lobster. I can't afford Red Lobster. I'm making $6 an hour. So it ain't had nothing to do with maturity. It had to do with what you gonna do for me. I want to go out and get that Guess outfit. You remember that? But see, I don't know if you might see them in that Guess outfit.
No, I know about all that,
in
man.
Northland.
Yeah, for sure.
From Hudson. Hudson.
Sure. I know all about it.
When I was 17, I had to ask my mama for the Guess outfit.
Right.
He can go buy her a Guess outfit. That's the difference. It had nothing to do with maturity. She wants some money. Like most people, most women want money. I mean, it ain't rocket science.
You might be. Did most of y'all grow up in the city?
Yeah, we all did.
There might be a difference too. So I grew up in the suburbs, and I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm gonna be honest. Let me be honest. As a black dude who lived in the burbs, stuff like this did not happen. One of the reasons why it didn't happen is because the white folks made sure older dudes weren't going around the school. So y'all might be a little bit different.
Also,
come off mute, man. Tell him, bro.
I'm just saying.
Also in those societies, women usually marry a little bit older men. But but in those societies, they mature a little bit different. They got parents who got money, so it's a little bit different in other cultures.
Yeah. I'm just saying that I can't. But
you know what I'm saying?
Let me let Herschel school y'all. Herschel, man, tell him what we were seeing, bro. He talking about the suburb stuff. Tell him what we were seeing, man.
I'll just give you a personal example, man, which is crazy to me. So, like, it's just the fascination. It's the glorification of things and the ability to think about. Kind of like what Vince was saying, like the guy at the car. So, mind you, my what year was this? I think it was my 10th grade year. Yeah, 10th grade year, my sophomore year. I turned 16 like mid of the school year. 15, so 16 I got my driver's license. I already had like my sister, she had a car, but she went to school. So that car, they kind of let me, they said once you get your license, you could drive that car around. Man, I wasn't getting like no play or nothing like that when I was getting on the bus. The minute after I turned 16, got that birthday, and I pulled up in a car, same females, like literally, I remember one time I was driving home, and they were walking, they just got off the bus, and they saw me driving. They over there waving and screaming their hands, hey, that's Herschel, that's that. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding. Like I'm a celebrity or something. Like I was I was a nobody a few months ago. Now, because I have a means of transportation, Now I'm just like this dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I gotta get on him, I gotta get holler at him. So it's just the fascination of like the material things, it's the ability to get stuff, you know. Again, it's the excitement. Like they just want to ride, you know, versus getting on the bus. Now they want somebody to pick them up so they can be bragging, saying, "Yeah, I got picked up. You know, I got picked up to go to school."
So beatboxing, man, just so you understand, man. We saw some things, man.
Yeah, we saw some stuff. I mean,
it's just my lived experience where I live that just didn't happen. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's a little bit different because women. I'm not saying the older men there weren't older men that were interested. I'm not saying that, but it moved. It was a lot different. It's not the way y'all. And to be fair, a lot of us were already driving cars and stuff in school too, so that wasn't even an issue. I'm just gonna be honest, right? So that wasn't really something where like, oh, everybody had a car, so that wasn't really a thing. Just saying.
Yeah, that's a different dynamic. So your stuff was like more so low key behind the scenes. That's what you trying to say? Like the stuff that went down, maybe
that he doesn't know about.
Because I guarantee you it was going down.
I'm pretty sure like people got with each other. I'm not saying that's not what it is. I'm not saying it's not what it is. You know, everybody had. I'm not going to incriminate myself. I'm going to keep going.
Well,
now you want to sit back.
I'll say this. I think that probably what was happening, beatboxer, just a theory. You know, I grew up. Herschel and KP, they were suburbanites. I grew up in the city. I grew up in the city of Detroit. And, you know, probably, you know, why, you know, you didn't see maybe a lot of the older guys coming to the suburban schools was because the suburban guys was coming down to the city. So those dudes in those cars that y'all said y'all already had, everybody was already driving. Yeah, y'all was driving them cars down to the city to pick up the chicks in the schools that I was in.
Oh, come on.
So that's probably why you ain't see it in your neighborhood, because y'all was taking it to our neighborhood.
The girls in
beatboxer driving out of town and that. Yeah,
I'm not driving to Baltimore City. Baltimore City, those girls are rough. Those girls in Baltimore City are rough. No, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah, beatboxer said, yeah, let's go for a cruise. 5-minute journey. Beep, beep. We outside. I hear that.
So basically,
that's all
the
good.
boys at the time was doing the equivalent of what the passport bros do today. They don't date within the country that they're in. They go outside and say, okay, I'm going to, you know, leverage the money I have. That's a higher dollar. I'm going to leverage the fact that I'm American. Same thing, but just on a much smaller scale.
you understand, Joe?
It's clever.
Man, Joe over here hating, man. All right, let me. No, I'm just playing. All right, I got a couple more videos. Let me throw a couple up. Let's say a couple of them came. You know, this one right here. This one's interesting. Let me see what y'all say about this.
Why did you tell your dad I was cheating on him, Leilani? That ain't your business, and it damn sure ain't your place as a. Why did you tell your dad I was cheating on him, Leilani? That ain't your business, and it damn sure ain't your place as a child.
First of all,
look, girl, who are you talking to?
First of all, you're making it my business by taking me to the guy house that you're cheating on my dad with. You are a married woman, and I'm just a child, and I'm still more lawyer than you are.
Little girl, you are punished. Don't touch no game. Don't touch no.
How you gonna punish me when you cheated on my dad? If you cheat on my dad again, then I'm gonna tell him again. Oh wait, there won't be no again. He's divorcing you. Hey, Dad.
Hey, baby girl. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Okay. What you doing? What's on your mind?
I have something to tell you.
You got something to tell me? What you got to tell Daddy, baby?
Mommy been cheating on you.
Oh, wait. How do you know that?
Because she's been taking me to the guy's house.
Wait.
All right. So let me get y'all's opinion on something real quick. That video came over. Folks was in the comments, some real mixed reviews on that particular situation. So I want to come to the panels. I said, and everybody in the comments, drop a comment, let me know what you think. Yeah, it could have been a skit, but I think it's an interesting situation. So let me come to the panel. So what do y'all say? Is the young girl or the little girl, is she out of pocket So is she out of pocket in this situation? Should she just keep her mouth shut, or should she do what she did in the video? So I'm just curious to see what y'all say. Anybody come off mute? Just tell me what you think it is. Was she out of pocket? Does she need to stay in the child's place? I'm just curious. Anybody come off? Let me know what you think. Let me see. Donovan said, let's see. However, I'm not sure. Let's see. This act is actually somebody's reality. Well, let's see. However, I'm sure this act is actually somebody's reality somewhere. Yeah, no, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. See, Kenyatta said exactly. So I don't know. Go ahead, Coco.
I mean, I was just gonna say, I mean, I actually think that this probably does happen. This clearly was a skit, but I actually can see this happening. I'm sure this actually does happen. I just don't know in what scenario does the child actually end up diming the mom out, because I think in a lot of cases the kid probably ain't saying nothing. But as far as the young girl talking back to her, I mean, that is more realistic than the actual setup of the topic of the video, right? This young girl, you know, speaking to her mama like that, that's very common. That's very common. That's happening. So I think it's all about how are you raising your children, because I think right now we see an influx of mothers treating their daughters like their best friends. You know, they're dressing alike. They're buying them Chanel bags and taking them to get manis and petties. And I'm not saying you can't do fun things with your daughter. Not saying that. But I do think that there still needs to be like a boundary that's established where she understands that you're her mother, not her best friend, because then you open up this type of dynamic where she then feels like she can speak to you on that level because you guys are friends, right? So, do I think that the little girl is wrong? Not if her mom don't think she's wrong. Because if her mom is training her to be like that and is making it okay for her to be like that, then who am I to say any different? I can't call this young girl out about her mouth if her mama is allowing it or training her to be that way or showing her that example. Then how am I calling out the child in the situation and not the adult, not the parent? So it is what it is.
Okay. I appreciate that right there. Go ahead, Joe.
It would have been more believable. The second part was more believable. But the first part was like, okay, this is a stage act. It would have been more believable if they had like an audio recording. Then we'd probably been like, oh, this is real. But aside from that, I agree with Coco. It doesn't. It's usually the child is trying. They don't want the divorce to happen. They're not advocating, I'm going to tell my father, and therefore they are aware that it could happen and most likely will. So therefore, they most likely will say nothing if it means keeping whatever sense of family that they have together, especially at that age. You don't want to lose mommy and daddy, and you don't know what that looks like if they do divorce. So I don't see it being realistic. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't happen. I think idealistically we look at that and say, oh yeah, you know, this is something that should happen. You know, you would want a child to speak up, but then you can also understand why a child wouldn't do it for their own self-preservation or whatever they feel like, you know, well, I just want to keep them together. But the reality is that a woman or a man taking their son or daughter to the other person's house, or not even really doing that, just inviting the other person to their house secretly behind their back, it's kind of like, that's just pretty common. That's common, and a lot of kids will say nothing. Because what if that parent retaliates against that child physically? That's also that level of fear, aside from the family being broken up. So, and yeah, that's just a lot of trauma right there. I don't personally have a problem if something were to happen like that. In the first instance, I don't have a problem with a child speaking up on it. I would hope, and I would wish they did it more often. So the problem can be solved, because it's not going to get better if the child doesn't say anything. But again, the child doesn't know your child. You don't have the frontal lobe capabilities to think, okay, well, it's going to get better in the future if I keep the secret. Actually, it gets worse. This is not something you typically learn until you're much later in age, when you learn the consequences of holding those secrets. You know, oh, you've been cheating with 10 years, and then you realize, oh yeah, I knew when I was 5, 10 years ago, you know, but I didn't say anything. So now the child feels even more guilty because they didn't say anything. So, but these are it's a lot of nuances and subtleties to this. I just if the skit was real, I'd be like, congratulations to the child. She loves her father that much, and she's ready to risk a lot in doing so.
Right.
But just not reality, unfortunately.
Not,
The premise
I
is
got
just not. It's not based on what I've seen to be true.
I got you. No, I got you. No, so I just want to see what y'all said about it. Go ahead, Herschel. Then I'm roll us to the next one, man. Go ahead.
All right, just real quick. So a few civil scenarios. I think the child that has respect for the parent, or like has like that godly fear of the parent, are more likely that's not going to say anything. But the one like clearly like in this video, like if they on the same level, like where they feel like they're like equals, like where they're like friends and they can talk to them any type of way, that's more likely the situation where a kid's gonna like speak up, especially if they favor one more than the other, or one's maybe treating them better than the other, or they may have more respect for the other parent. That's when it'll happen. But again, like the mother shouldn't be mad at all, because if you're taking your child to the scene of the crime scene, you can't expect her to like not to like have blinders on, to be like out of there. You have to understand it's a possibility the child might, especially kids can't keep secrets. You know what I'm saying? So it's those are a few different scenarios. But I think mainly, like for example, like they're kids that they have that much respect for their parent, they will like keep a secret for that parent. You know what I'm saying? Because they just like, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't get no punishment. I don't get a whooping, or or like Joe was saying, they want their parents to stay together. They don't want to cause the breakup. So
Right.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that, man. Go ahead, JR. I saw you come off, man.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, yeah, listen, this women be trifling, man. It's a crazy world out here, man. Like, I remember my first relationship, right? Because I'm watching the video and I'm assuming that the woman's at home, right? The man's at work, she's at home with the kid. So I remember when I was about 2021, my first relationship. My dad just found out, I'm in a relationship for my mum, and obviously he's asking me details and whatnot. And I tell him, long distance relationship. And he's like, oh, son, as a man, you're supposed to have your woman, right in front of you so you can keep your eyes on her type of age. He's old school. And now obviously we're both standing up. And I said, hey, listen, big man, you have to take a seat, because what you're saying to me doesn't necessarily apply in this universe, because women have been cheating since day one, before I was alive. It doesn't matter whether she's in your home, whether she's outside. She gonna do it. So I said, there's only one way to combat that. I'm gonna make her cheat well, because I'm not there, right? When she comes to me and says, hey, I'm pregnant, show me that DNA. Simple. Because I asked him, do you know if mom's 5 kids are your kids? Because you've kept your eyes on her, but you're telling me I gotta keep eyes on
oh, come on
my missus out there. Now, I'm not saying that my mom's cheating on my dad or anything like that. I'm just saying, whether she's here, whether she's over there, it doesn't matter, because look at this, the video. She's at home while he's at work, and she decides to take it one extra layer and take the kid.
JR, you just literally talk to your dad like that?
Say again.
So you were the little kid in this video.
Say again, sorry.
I said, so you're the little kid in this video?
Oh no, I said no. I said to him, because he's saying to me, I gotta keep an eye on my missus, right? And I'm just gonna show him the reality of the universe. I'm like, hey, whether your missus is here in front of you or not, she's gonna do it if she wants to. So in other words, you're saying to me, I've got to keep my eyes on my missus because it's a long distance, right? So I'm saying to him, because women have been cheating since day one, do you even know if mom's 5 kids are your kids? Now, I'm not implying that my mom's cheating on him, but I'm just going to make him think like, hey, listen, big man, I could not be your kid, but you're here trying to question whether my missus is going to be loyal to me, or come on, be real.
Point.
JR, I think I speak for the panel when I say this is a wild example right here, JR. This is a wild example.
He told his pops
Oh
to stay in
man,
his lane. He said, "Stay in your lane, pops."
basically,
Yeah,
that's
stay
basically what he
like
said. Man.
Did he follow the
yeah,
advice that he given?
like I said, I ain't ever seen my mom do anything, try for anything like that, right? But I'm just saying, hey, you're saying to me, I should be aware. I'm saying to him, and
See?
there's men before me that ain't ever been aware, but you're trying to make sure I'm good. I'm asking him, have you checked that you're good? That's all.
Me
I understand.
potentially not
Because
being.
all I'm saying to him is, he's trying to control the situation, right? But I'm saying to him, whether you're trying to control the situation or not, it doesn't matter. Like the guy, he's at work, his missus is at home, he thinks he's in control of the situation, right? But he's not. That's just the reality of, life. Men are gonna cheat and women are gonna cheat. That's it. So I'm just saying, I'm gonna make her cheat well if she wants to cheat on me. It is what it is. When you come to me, just make sure you got that DNA test ready. Because you're about to pin that baby on me. So just cheat well if you're gonna do it. In other words.
Man,
Because
let
you
me
can't
go to the
control that.
next video, man.
Cheat successfully.
JR, man, you something else, man. Let me go to the next one, man. This is where IT at? She's supposed to be on it. This is her video.
Hey, Pop, how you know I'm not your son? How do you even know?
That's a wild one right there.
I ain't never thought of it that way, son. I think.
JR's about to be disinherited. JR's about
That's
to be
what I'm
taken off the
saying.
wheel.
You gotta be careful with that question. Some of these fathers be done caught a couple hot ones to the chest. You better be careful with that one, man. All right, let me keep going. This is I think Nicole sent this over. Let me see. Looks like another tonight's conversation.
We're in a relationship with a grown man who has his own house, his own car. How do you add value?
I think the problem is that everyone is trying to bring what they have to the table without taking inventory of what the table needs. Me understanding and taking inventory of what this man needs is past his accolades. The woman sat up here and described he has a house. She didn't say he had a home. And so when you're talking about a woman and what we bring and what that value is, we bring the home to the house that he already has. We bring the companion to the accolades and the cars he already has. We bring the nurture, we bring the love, we empower. We take the seeds that he has and we water it.
It's called incubation. It's called multiplication. It's called you being able to have a certain level of discernment for you to be able to say, hey, yo, that little friend you got, I don't like him, okay? That's a thing that women possess that men will just baseline never be able to get. It's an intuition, right? And so there's a confidence that you have to have because all the that you talked about, oh, well, he's a homeowner and he got this and he got that. That's nothing compared to the strengths that you have as a woman. When you actually understand what women were placed on this earth to do, you're not going to get up here and say, how do you add value? Because your existence is value, right? And so I can teach you, okay, how to tap into your feminine energy and really understand that, right? Okay.
Where IT at? IT, hurry up. Cause I got something I got to say. I see you say you logging in. I'm gonna give you a minute to get in here because I got to say something about this video right here.
You disagree? You look like you disagree.
Yeah, I got a couple problems with this video. Go ahead, Coco. I'm gonna let IT get up
do you
there.
want to speak now, or you want to wait for a call? You want to wait for a call?
No, go ahead. I'm trying to give her a chance. She says she's logging on. Come on.
I actually got a question for the guys because I feel like this question is always spoken about from a female perspective, right? And if we're talking about how men value us, then anybody who wants to answer it, more than one answer, I don't care. But I think let's have a man say what he personally believes a woman brings to the table or what he would want a woman to bring so that women can actually hear from a man, from a male perspective, because that's who you're trying to bring value to, right? So you can hear from a male perspective what men value about women.
Okay.
Fellas quiet. Nah, it don't matter. Anybody, go ahead. I get it. It don't matter. I think that's her.
I can use a personal example. The lady in the picture right there, my Brazilian tour guide. before I met her, I had it in my mind that I was going to go to Brazil by myself. I don't need no tour. I don't need this and that. I'm good by myself. And so that was my mindset. You know, I'm going to make my way around and show myself around. Um, when I made a decision to hire her to do the tour, I still thought at that point that it was, you know, it was a waste of money. You know, what am I doing this for? I could have saved X amount. So I get there and then I realize, okay, I'm basically like a fish out of water. And for starters, I don't know the language. And even if I did, I don't know the culture. So it's a lot here that I don't know that I need to know. Damn, I actually need some help. So I'm like, well, thank goodness I actually hired her to do this job. So I met her and she lifted up the veil over my eyes that I couldn't see, showed me things that I could not have seen for myself, helped me explore things I could not have done on my own. So I needed her help, not in me getting there or even financially. All that other stuff was taken care of. Things I could do myself as a man. I have the will and determination to get there. But she, like the lady said in the video, in a way made the house a home. She made my experience there what it was, to the degree that it was. I would have had a good time by myself, but I had an incredible time with her. So, and I guess an analogy in the sort is that that's in a way what a woman's purpose is for me, in that they bring that sense of making something that you give them and making it better. Whether it's a seed, they turn it into a baby. Whether it's an idea, they turn it into a business. It's not necessarily material per se, like a lot of men think. Well, you're not buying a house, you're not doing this, it's not tangible, but it's an intangible thing. These intangible qualities that she brought that made my experience completely memorable, because it could have went the total opposite way if I was determined to do it on my own. And I would not be so motivated to go back and do so many more things from that, my first international trip. So a good woman can take something that you give her and elevate it, magnify it, intensify it. A terrible woman can de-elevate you, destroy you, take you to divorce court. So they have the power to do these things, and also help a man meet his capacity to love. Um, because I find myself to be pretty much kind of like even killed, but when I'm around a good woman, they bring something out of me that was always within me, but because of her presence, of a woman's presence, it brings that certain quality to the forefront that I didn't even recognize was there at first. So that is the qualities, the things that a woman brings to the table, so to speak. For me, it's the watering of his seeds, the making a house a home, being his eyes and ears. She can see things behind me I can't see. If I'm taking her to a function, hey, I don't trust this guy. Okay, well, we're not going to do that. Or hey, check out this person. All right, let's do business with him. So little things like that that we don't necessarily see in the forefront that takes place behind the scenes. That is the power of a good woman.
Right. No, I appreciate that right there. To answer your question, Coco, I think there's a few core things, right? So I think one of the main things is support. Yeah, a man is looking for a woman to support. Unselfishly, I might add. He is looking for balance from that woman. Yep, he is the aggression, he is the masculine, he is looking for the feminine balance from that woman. He is looking for that woman to have nurturing abilities, to be able to take care of a family, to be the soft space in the house. Yeah, we all know how that works. Folks get sick in the house, first person they run to is mom. Yeah, that's important. Yep, he's looking for or to be able to bounce things off of that woman. Once again, to me, that ties back to the balance piece. Yep, as he's having ideas on how we're going to move the business or how we're going to bring this money into the household or investments or whatever, he may bounce things off of you. So he's looking to be able to have a conversation with you and bounce things off of you. You know what I'm saying? To get your input. At the end of the day, we know, you know what I'm saying, he's going to make a final decision, but guys sometimes need that. Yep, that man is also looking for a woman to be his best friend. This is one of the things that a lot of people miss. Yep, having a best friend is very important. Yeah, but we don't always see it like that. We see it as almost like an arrangement, a business, whatever we want to call it. But it's like at the basic core, just being that person, being that man's best friend. And I can go on and on and on, but those are just some of the core things that I think, of course, a man is looking for a woman to bring into the situation. And then two, or just lastly, I'll say this and then I'll stop for a minute. Looking at it as ours. That's very important. Yeah, but a lot of folks today look at it mine and yours. Yeah, but that's where we see a lot of this friction. Yeah, you coming into my money, or you coming into my house, or this, you got your house, I got my house. No, I'm not sharing this with you. This is my paycheck. I'm not spending mine, but I want you to pay all the bills with yours. We look at everything as individuals. We don't look at it as a unit. Yep, and that relationship is supposed to be a unit. Yeah, it's supposed to be y'all balancing each other, working together. That's what it's supposed to be. But that's why I said, and I'm gonna come back to the panel. This is why I said I got some issues with this video. Yep, I got some issues with this video. I know Cole sent this over, but as soon as I watched it, I'm like, here we go with this again. Yep, I have an issue because I gotta point this out. I have an issue with some of the young ladies who come on or come into these type of conversations or do these type of videos, and it's like they try to downplay what the man has established. Yeah, I just have an issue with that. If I'm listening to the young lady talking about, yeah, he got a house, but yeah, nah, that ain't nothing. And it's like, what you mean? Yeah, when did a man acquiring a house become nothing? Yeah, when did a man acquiring things to get himself situated to bring in a wife and start a family and move forward? When did that become nothing? And it's like this mindset that we've taken on today. It's like this selfish, entitled thing that we do now. It's like we always downplaying each other. Yeah, this young lady said just her existence alone, like that's all the value. And it's like, where you get that from? Yep, just a man's existence alone, that ain't enough. We know that. But now we're gonna say that the woman, just her existence alone, that's enough, like that's all. And I'm just like, where do we get this mentality from? Yeah, why does this always have to get looped up into these conversations like this is the end all be all? We know that's not how that works. Yeah, there's all type of women out here who just exist, but we know that they, like Joe said, we know that they're not good women. Yep, and there's men out here who exist as well, but we know some of them is not good men. But then we'll say these types of things in these videos, and then we'll push it, you know what I'm saying, like it's law. And then folks will get the clapping and cheering in the comment, in the audience, because they're selling tickets. But it's like some of this stuff is skewed mindset. Yeah, it's very skewed thinking. Yep, a man acquiring a home in preparation to move his life forward along with a woman and beginning a family and building legacy, that's way more than nothing. Yep, and then somebody's existence, just because somebody exists, that doesn't mean that there's value there. That doesn't mean that that's the best situation for you. That ain't what that means. Yeah, that's not the end all be all just because somebody exists. So yeah, some of this stuff, like I said, for me, it's just skewed mindset. So yeah, this video, I understand where she's going with it, but some of the things that we slide in, like it's law and like it's right, I just got a problem with it. I'm gonna be honest about it. Go ahead, Cole. You can come off.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I didn't take the video that way.
I got you.
I definitely, for me, I was definitely focused on, the fact that, she said that the guy did acquire these things and that we are basically to kind of help like nurture and cultivate that ultimately to be more home-like.
Right.
With that though, I feel like that is an intangible, and I just think now a lot of men do not recognize that ability as something beneficial to them. Like to me, I feel like the mindset now comes off as if it's not, and if it's something that's, if you're not bringing something that's tangible, then the relationship is not going to work. Like I
So
don't really hear a lot of discussion about the intangibles.
So you saying that you feel like today some of the guys are not appreciating the nurturing woman who comes in and makes the house a home versus the woman that I guess is generating income and coming in, and that what you're saying? Okay, I mean I understand that. Listen, I'm not saying that you're not right in that. I think that there are still a lot of guys. I said once again, for me, this still points back to maturity. Yeah, so there are guys today who have gotten to a certain point. They done did the nonsense. They done been out, what they say, done been outside. They done been out in the streets. They done did all that. And it's like now they're looking for exactly what you just described. The nurturing woman who knows how to come in, move, be a feminine woman, support, partner up, and help that man build. So there is a group of guys who is looking for that. But on the flip side, I understand what you're saying. There's also some guys out here who are looking for, women and their material things. So that's out here as well. But I said, for me, that's a maturity thing. Yeah. Once the dude hits a level of maturity, he starts to appreciate and look for different character traits in women. Yep. Some of the little physical stuff that dudes used to latch on to, it go out the window. You know what I'm saying? If she got herself together, body, workable, whatever, but she got all the nurturing skills and she's soft and she feminine and she know how to follow lead and all of that. He like, yeah, I'm gonna roll with that. So no, I said I feel you. I'm sure that is going on. So yeah, I'm sure you're seeing that as well.
And I also didn't get I was listening to the video, watching it carefully. I didn't really get that, I guess, this sort of backhanded animosity towards man's contribution not being important. It was kind of like more it seemed like she was doing yeah, they have this, but this is what we have. Yeah, they have this, and this is what we have to offer. I think you saw it more as, it's irrelevant because it's not legitimate unless I make the house a home, which maybe I need to see it again. It's okay if I don't.
I got you. Hold on.
I didn't see that at all. Maybe someone else did. I don't
Dating
know.
or in a relationship with a grown man.
I'm gonna get it right back. Let me get right back to her. Yeah, because I said I'm so aware of this stuff now. It's crazy. Let me see if I can write back to right when she
get a pausable click to see if she got a ring on her finger.
Man, you already know ain't no.
I don't think she's married.
Good job, Herschel.
Isn't it only two of them?
Petty.
Say it again, Nicole.
Isn't it only? I thought it was like only two of them. The other lady, I can't think of her name.
Kitty.
Yeah,
yes.
Kitty. Yeah, she might not be on this one. I said this is Cheyenne Brown. I don't know if she a doctor of, but this is Cheyenne Bryan. I don't know the second lady, but let me run it from her part.
We bring the companion to the accolades and the cars he already has. We bring the nurture, we bring the love, we empower. We take the seeds that he has and we water it.
It's called incubation. It's called multiplication. It's called you being able to have a certain level of discernment for you to be able to say, hey, yo, that little friend you got, I don't like him, okay? That's a thing that women possess that men will just baseline never be able to get. It's an intuition, right?
So that's the problem right there. So she's talking about this discernment that women possess, but then she'll come back and say men just ain't gonna never have that. And it's like, what do you mean?
Like we're Neanderthals
like if we,
or something.
Say it again.
Like we're gorillas or Neanderthals. Like we're stupid.
Yeah, it's like you have to listen to these videos.
She was saying that.
Ape-like.
She just said it. Like she literally
I didn't
just
think she was. Okay, I didn't take it that way. I took it as she was trying to. I mean, she is difficult to listen to, but I will say, I think that she was trying to say that, just trying to distinguish some of the intangible qualities that women most likely possess that men may not. So, like, men might be more logical and kind of hands on, and the female is kind of like in the back being more observant. Is how I kind of took it.
But Cole, but see
Not
that's
the way she
but
put it.
you just
That's
that's
what
my
I
point
said. She
though,
was hard
Cole.
to listen to. I seen it.
No, but I'm saying, Cole, that's my point. So if you saying that a woman is in the back being observant, it's like, so then what do you think the men are doing? So when this man is walking you down the sidewalk and he got you on the inside of the sidewalk while he on the street side, when he walk in that door and he checking stuff out before he let you in, like, what do y'all think that the dudes be doing?
Right, but it's different.
Yeah.
It's different, and you know, this is so interesting that we having this conversation because myself, and Mr. Quay Price had this conversation, and I had to kind of school him a little bit on this.
Oh, let's hear.
Right.
Yeah, I did. Because this is something that men don't understand, and you're not supposed to. It's like, I think y'all should let us have that, right? Like, there are things that we have to give y'all. We have to concede these things to you guys as men. We're not as strong as you guys are. Yes, you guys do tend to be more logic first, right? Like, there are things that we have to concede to you guys that you guys just do better. You were literally built to do those things, and we have to concede those to you, right? This is something that about women that is uniquely ours. It's a gift that God gave us. So you concede that to us. We do have an intuition. And you guys might be standing on the outside of the curb to protect us physically, but there is a spiritual, a emotional protection that we provide you guys. That's what we do, right?
Yeah.
And it comes, and a lot of times our intuition is what allows us to be able to do that, right? We can see a situation from a different perspective. You may look at that situation and you may catch this or this, and you may completely miss this over here. That's okay, because that's for us. We're supposed to see that. So we say, oh, yeah, but watch this one. Well, why do you say that? Well, because of this, this, and this. And that's not even something that you were even considering, right? But we are, because once again, it's a part of our makeup, right? So I agree with Cole. She was hard to listen to. A lot of it was just a bunch of word salad, but she is right in that this particular gift that we were given, this intuition, is ours. We were given this, and we're supposed to use this to help ourselves, but we're also supposed to use this as a protection for our husbands, right? You guys protect us physically and in other ways as well. I'm not saying that you don't, but this is one area where we actually offer protection for you guys, because this is just not something that you guys are built in this area to do the way we are.
No, that's facts. Let me keep going. Because I said she made a couple statements. Let me keep going.
And so there's a confidence that you have to have, because all that you talked about, oh, well, he's a homeowner and he got this and he got that. That's nothing compared to the strengths that you have as a woman. When you
Oh, I did miss that, huh?
That's nothing.
Right, you heard that? That's nothing.
I heard that. I heard. Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's what I'm telling you. Be sliding it in there. They be sliding it in there.
I don't know why. Okay, so if you were talking about that point, then yeah, I don't know why she felt like she had to downplay that, because acquiring those things take time, money, energy, and resources. Like, ma'am, I don't.
You see how they do us though.
I'm sorry. On behalf of the female kid, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is what I be talking about. It's like I appreciate y'all having the conversation right now. Because I said, once again, we're having conversations right now. You know what I'm saying, on the Kandid Konvos platform, right? We want to be able to have these conversations so that people will look at what they're doing and how they're moving, and possibly make some changes to move in a better direction. Like, we literally having the conversation right now, right? But it's like when you slide in this little slick stuff in the conversation, and because you have people already rooting for you, because you heard when Dr. Cheyenne said, yeah, he said when she said he got a house, but you know, they ain't saying nothing about a home. And it's like everybody getting all hyped up like she said something special. But it's like, but then after you get people hyped up by saying that, then you come back and say, yeah, but he got a house. That ain't nothing. And it's like, wait a minute. So it's like we slide these little sneak disses in along with the good points or with the valid points. Yeah, but that's my issue. So like I said, when I see these type of videos now, I'm very aware of what is being said, because you'll miss these things, but they'll inject these mindsets right into you. So then what you'll end up having is women and men, they'll leave the show, and then they're gonna go looking at these fellas like, yeah, you know, I know you done put in this work and got your little stuff situated, but that ain't nothing, you know, that don't equal up to the power of a woman. You know, you be like, wait a minute, where all that's coming from? But see, that's how they slide that stuff in. So that's why I said I have issues with the video. Some of the points is valid. You know what I'm saying? That both of the young ladies made. But it's like if we gonna slide the nonsense in with the valid points, then it's like I got a problem. And it's just like, this is why this gender war stuff still is going on. And because we still taking these little sneak dish shots at each other, trying to devalue what the other sex, you know, or what the other sex has going on. Yeah, but I don't know when somebody having a house became nothing. Like, what are you talking about? Like, people are talking about they can't afford their mortgages, and you talking about me having a house and being established is nothing. That don't equal up to the power of a woman. And it's like, wait a minute, what? So yeah, some of the stuff we just got to keep it in perspective. But no, let's say some valid points in the video. But yeah, I don't like that little slick stuff, because I've been seeing a lot of that lately. Kenyatta said that's the divide. Yeah, no, I said it keeps getting injected in there. And I wish we get to a point where we don't feel like we got to do that. Yeah, we don't feel like we got to do the sneak dissing just to get our points across. Let's get our points across, because it's unnecessary. All right, let me be quiet, man. Y'all got me going, man. All right. Go ahead, B-Box. I saw you come off, man.
Can you imagine if a guy said, hey, you know, I give you intangible things. I just can come into your home and I'll just nurture it and all that, and that's all I'm going to do. Can you imagine that?
Man, pay
ladies laugh.
You can't, and that's shout out to right. The thing is, these conversations are it's the stupid conversation of because a lot of women were getting mad about when men are saying, what do you bring to the table? Women were flipping out about that. It's just another form of this conversation. A lot of women bring nothing. So that's why a lot of women get really mad about it. They don't nurture, they do nothing.
Oh, come on.
They don't do nothing. I'm sorry. They don't bring anything. A lot of these ladies are liabilities. Dr. Cheyenne's a liability. She's talking about I bring house in the home. You ain't no home for nobody. You've been running men off.
What you say? Incubate and multiply. Man,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so big.
I'm with you. Like, this is why men want like me. I've said, men, you better ask for some tangibles. You better ask. You better say, hey, all that other stuff is great, because I'm with you, Mr. Quay. Like, my wife she does a lot of those things, but you bet for your sake, for a lot of men, so you don't get screwed. Get badass for some tangibles. I want to see some.
So you support what Cole is saying she's seeing out here. That's what you're saying, B-Box.
Right. So what's the tangibles? Hold up.
Money, time, sex.
You
better. I better. You said for sex?
Yeah. That's the problem. No, hold on. Real conversation. Seriously though, that's one of the problems. A lot of men really be like, sex is a whole intangible. Great sex is a whole intangible, or a whole tangible.
Yeah.
How you gonna sit here and fully try to test drive a car and you ain't even trying to commit to it fully? You can't come on. That's not right.
Some of y'all aren't.
That's not right. No, I'm serious. And for me, that is one of the problems that I am seeing. And I don't know if it's the right mindset, but when men come at me that way, where they feel like I have to bring that, I'm like, then I'll just replace that with money.
I
I will
was
just
talking
bring
about marriage, but
finances because you might you ain't specify.
well, I'm talking about that, but no, but I will say, but I will say, no, but I will say, I'm gonna be honest, Cole. I do agree with those guys too, though. I do agree with those guys too.
See, okay, now I'm about to go back to what I said. Why? Why?
Because
Why?
because it's listen, we've had this
I'm
conversation
listening.
before.
Getting hot, man. It's getting hot.
Women are giving it away anyway. You bet. Listen,
but they
if you say to me, and you say to me, Cole, let's role play a little bit. You say, I'm not doing that. Okay, I'm like, well, there's like 10 other women right here who look just like
and
you.
That's the problem.
Well, go get one of them.
And I will. I sure will.
And that's literally how the argument be.
You gonna get them, and they gonna get you.
Literally.
No, but the women who are gonna give it, who are nice people. Y'all saying like this conversation like women who have sex like that are like bad people. Like I'm not. That's just not true.
I'm not saying that good or bad. I'm indifferent about that because I don't have authority to judge. But what I am saying is that there is an expectation, especially from a man onto a woman's perspective, especially if they're not considering intangibles, that sex is a tangible that is supposed to come with them, and they're not married. So I'm telling you,
are considering both. They're considering both because of this. What's going on in the world today? I want both.
Why you think you can get both though?
I do.
Why do you think you can get both?
Okay, if I can get both from the other 10 people, why can't I get from you? You got to compete.
But that's the problem.
You got to compete. You've got to compete. You've got
I'm competing under what bar though? I'm competing under what bar? I'm competing under what bar?
Money, time.
Okay, wait. No, serious conversation. What if I'm bringing the money? We talk about that 6 figures. What if I'm bringing the 6 figures? And
it don't matter.
Yeah. Thank you, Vince. Thank you.
You can't trap me in an argument like that though. You can't.
Well, the problem.
What type of standard are we
what the
talking
problem
about?
with the sex, Cole? The problem with the sex is you ain't no virgin.
Why I gotta be a virgin?
If you were a virgin talking about you're not gonna give me no sex, I can appreciate it and understand it.
But why do I have to be a virgin? Just to say I don't want to have sex with you.
And then you shouldn't be dating. Well, you shouldn't be dating me then. If you don't want to have sex with me,
in order
you
to date a
shouldn't
guy,
date me.
I gotta be prepared. Wait. So
yes, you do.
Yes,
because you done had sex with somebody else.
Let me get it out. I got a whole thought. So y'all telling me that in order for me to just want to date, to get to know a person, I have to be prepared. While I'm trying to get to know you, I gotta be prepared to sleep with you. Like I have to prepare myself that if I want to date this guy, hey, I kind of like him, I want to get to know more about him. I have to prepare myself that while I'm trying to get to know you to see if we even compatible, I gotta be prepared to have sex with you just to find out if we're even compatible, to even get to that point. Like so so as a woman, so this is what the risk that I run, right? This is the risk that I put myself into in this scenario, right? Just so y'all can understand. As a woman, this is the risk I put myself into. So I'm meeting a guy and I like him. He seems interesting. I'm like, cool, yeah, let's go out. He asked me out, whatever, whoever initiates it, right? We go out. Right. And I'm trying to get to know this person. I'm like, he cool, but I don't know him. He don't know me. Right. So if the prerequisite to even get to the point where we can say we're compatible or we can say this could be something is sex. Mm-hmm. Do y'all see how this now establishes a precedent that even the woman who not necessarily for the streets per se, that I'm not saying she's a virgin, but she's not necessarily for the streets, right? She just dating. She's just somebody dating to find a person, right? This now puts her in a position where she could have bodies under her, not because she wants to be for the streets or because she like a lot of dudes, but because she's been just dating people. And the requirement has been, well, if you like me like that, then you should want to do this. And it's like, oh, okay, like I thought we was dating, like so that I could find out how much I like you, right?
She required
Like,
my money during
I
that.
guess no, but I'm saying
Who paying for the who paying for the dates? Who paying for the dates, Coco?
She required my
Wait,
money.
hold on. Let her get it out. Let her get it out. Hold on, fellas. Hold on. Let Coco finish. Then we let you respond.
If y'all want me to stay in my feminine bag, then y'all gonna have to come on now, cause see, I can come out of it. Okay. All right. So but yeah, so in that situation though, I could be somebody who don't mind going Dutch. I could be somebody who don't mind, saying, you know what, you got the last one, I'll get this one, right? Like that's cool. I don't mind. I don't care, because we trying to get to know each other, right? So
no, well, you get all of them.
You
get all of them.
So if that's the case, but we're dating, right? We're both dating. Like you are showing up, I'm showing up. So like to say you get all of them, like I'm showing up, you showing up. So if I'm saying I'm willing to get, meet you halfway because we're both in this, right? Then why is it that you guys are positioning some women, not all women, because some women don't care. They out there like that. But for the women that's actually trying to kind of, you know what I'm saying, be cool, you know what I mean? Like they don't want a harem. They don't want that track record. Then why put a woman in a position now where she's building up a body count because she's just trying to date people to find out who's her person?
She's on the track already.
Okay, I have a comment for that. I have a comment for that. Y'all, well, just like with anything else, y'all messed that game up because
there you go.
It used to be a time when we dated in the past, you only dated one person at a time to court them to marry. But men have understand that women are going out on dates with men that they have no intentions on sleeping with, that they don't even like. They just want to go out to dinner. And then they'll sleep with, because men want sex. Let's just be honest. Our first attraction to you is sexually. We ain't attracted to your mind. We're attracted to what you look like and how we want to turn you over in that bedroom. That's our first attraction. So
that's how Shannon got caught up.
Wait a minute. And I always hate to bring your boy Kevin Samuels up, but he said don't even go out with a man that you're not sexually attracted to. That don't mean you're going to have sex. That means you're sexually attracted. I know so many women be like, I didn't really like him at first. What would you go out with him for? Oh, man. See, that's the game that so many y'all tainted the pool. Y'all pissed in the pool. So now, yeah, men want to know, if we dating, you really like me. And we think if you really like me, you're going to have sex with me. That's what men think. It's not going to change. So
still gotta bring the money.
My answer is don't go out with men that you're not sexually attracted to. That don't mean that you're going to have sex with them. But a man knows when you're sexually attracted to, and that's what most men want. They really just want you to know that they can get it. Not that they're going to get it. They want to know that they can get it and that you're interested. But so many women will go out with a guy, spend, 3, 4, 5 times and don't have no intentions on doing nothing else. And be sleeping with a bum dude.
Yep.
So y'all messed that up.
You better have sex with
me.
me.
But that's not what y'all said. But okay, I hear you, Vince. But that's not what was said. What was said was that sex is a tangible. That what was said, right? So we're taking it out of the context of just a woman expressing that she like you. and expressing that you could get it, right? We're taking it away from there. We're going to step further and saying that it is a prerequisite. We're saying now that it is in the list of intangibles. That is now on the list, right? That is what we're saying. So that's taking it to another level. I understand because women, and I don't disagree that women have messed this up, okay? I don't disagree with that. But I just offer this, right? While I agree that women have messed this up, they start hunching for free. They start giving it away. Like, I get it. I know this is true, right? This is real. However, I will say this, though. Let's look at it like this. We're saying that because there are a lot of women who have done this, and now men are like, okay, cool. Well, then if it's like that, then just expect that, you know what I'm saying, you have to give it up. So y'all, what we're doing is now we're painting every woman with the same broad stroke. But y'all don't like when women do that with y'all. Just go with me for a second, right? You don't want women to say, well, men have done, men are out here sleeping around. They're dating, they're not dating more than one woman. They won't commit to more than one. He's seeing me on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but then he's seeing somebody else on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays. And if she starts moving like, okay, well, that's all men. All men are like, that doesn't necessarily mean all men are actually like this. No, I mean, it's the same thing, though. We cannot differentiate. If we're going to loop and group all women together and say, because that woman did it, that woman did it, that woman did it, and that woman did it, now we're sick and tired of it. So now every woman we come across, she got to have sex with me. That's it. She got to have sex. So then, okay. So then every dude we come across, we got to get as much as we can out of him. As much as we can, because we done got to take an advantage of by this dude, and this dude. So since we done got to take an advantage of by all these different dudes, now every dude is the same. Every dude just want to take advantage. Every dude ain't ish. Every dude ain't, and the stuff that we hear, which we know ain't true. We know it's not true. However, if we just about to be out here painting everybody with a broad stroke, then this is what we gonna have, and that's why we in the situation we're in.
Cole, it's. I think I don't want to use this word because I'm going to use this word. It's a cop-out, it's nuance. Like, if I know that I'm with a chick, you know who you're with. Like, I know men and women know, right? So, like, if you know, like, if it's an iffy situation, like, not all guys in that situation, guys are not going to be like, oh, you have to have sex with me now. Like, he's just gonna cut it off, ghoster. So you have that issue with women, like, he ghosted me. Well, yeah. Do you want him to tell you to have sex with you? All I'm talking about is like what Vince said. Either you're gonna do it, or I can have that possibility that it's gonna happen, right? But let's just scratch out the sex thing because I think we're getting caught up on that than the other things that I mentioned that were tangible. Because I think we were just talking about that, and it was like, I'm just saying this because we're not going to get anywhere with that conversation because, like I said,
why not? That's the main one.
It's too late, B-Box. It's
way too late. Sorry.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, if you want to be in a situation where men are not going to have sex with you and date you, you need to date fundamentalist Christians or Muslim people. Sorry.
Fine. Sign me up then. Sign me up.
Because
send me over. Wrap me
at the end of the day, men are going to
say,
especially men with options are going to say, hey, there are women out here who are going to hunch me for free. What you going to do about it? And even let me tell you, there are women who are decent people who are going to do it. Not most women are not evil people. See, that's the thing. I think people are like, oh, women who are hunching are bad. I disagree. I think everybody, it's an animalistic thing. Sex is, men like it, women like it. Let's stop playing. But like Vince said, a lot of women out here are playing games. They will have sex with guys who ain't about much, but then with the guy that they're dating and want they have all these standards for it, they're like, oh, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see how this goes. Hey, no, you either going to, I'm not going to say that, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like we ain't playing that. Yes, I might be a decent person, but I want you to treat me like Pookie. Treat me like Pookie. Okay, I'll pay for the dip, but treat me like him. Treat me like Ray Ray. I want to be treated like Ray Ray and Pookie. I'm sorry. Treat me like him.
So how is what you saying any different than what Shannon Sharp did? Because it just doesn't seem
Shannon
like
Sharp
it's a whole
was
lot
with
of
the hooker.
Wait, you're advocating for the same thing. So the
But
point I'm
that's
trying
what
to
you
make is,
want, a
hold on,
hooker,
wait.
because you want sex when you want it. That's what you want. You want to marry a hooker.
That's not the
You know, in principle, you want a hooker
I think the problem is
that you pay for.
Hey, Quay, let me say something right quick. I think the problem is that we're not dating with intention. How many dates are we talking about? Are we talking about 6 months? Are we talking about a couple days? Because my thing is, if you're dating with intention, then you're only dating men that you are sexually attracted to.
True.
So if you're not, but see, so my thing is, if you're dating with intention, it's not the act of sex. Now, it's some men that is corny. Like I'm never like I don't understand how men ask for sex. Like when you go have sex with me, that's corny. That's lame. I know. When you gotta ask for sex, who asks for sex? So that's corny. Now some men are corny like that. So yeah, those are guys that you should just leave alone. But I'm saying there's some. But my thing is, if you date men that you're first sexually attracted to, then he's gonna get that vibe from you. So it's not necessarily that I want to have sex. I want to have sex. So I think we're missing what we're really talking about. So my thing ain't well, I want to wait. No, don't wait for me. If and it's not, that's what I'm saying. It's just, if you're intentional, then it's not really that big of an issue. It's really not. I think we're making it bigger than what it is, or you coming across some goofs that just want to just have sex. And then those are the guys that you'll kind of weed out in the first couple of dates anyway.
Right. So let me let Herschel. So I see Cole and Herschel got to go on this. Cole, Herschel, you want to go first?
Yeah,
Cole, one of y'all. It's between y'all.
Let me just get this out the way. So let me just give everybody a scenario. Like, let's imagine each person on the panel. Let's just say we're single, right? And let's say we're believers in God. We believe in God, okay? And then we meet somebody and we're dating, or we want to date them. We're trying to, kick it, go out, and then we find out they worship Satan. Are you gonna stay with that person, or are you gonna say, this ain't for me because we don't match, we don't click? That's kind of the same thing with the sex piece. I mean, honestly. So if you are on that level where you're not trying to have sex, and there's a guy that is, y'all, there's not a match right there. Just move on and go find somebody that's on the same level, that's on the same spot, saying, I want to be celibate right now. I just want to wait, or I'm going to respect you to this level. I want to wait till you're ready, that type of deal. But if just don't waste your time. If you're going to, because this is it's going to be somewhere down life. It's not just that. It's going to be something else in the future that you guys are not going to click on. So that's how you saw that problem right there. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about giving your body up and having all these bodies. Just don't, stick to your standards. And then realize from the jump that you guys are not equally yoked right there. That's what I'm saying. That's how you got to view it. Just like if you want, what I'm saying? Like for me, if I find out a woman don't believe in God, I'm out of there. I don't care how nice you are, what you got, what type of body you got. If it's something that we don't match on right there, it's a done deal.
I feel that. Go ahead, Cole. I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm trying to pose this question. So to me, what y'all saying is a woman needs to add sex to her marketplace value. So if she is doing that, then my thing is, then where's that on the priority list, and how do y'all add that into value in a woman? And then what you telling me is you are okay with, then if sex is now added to this woman's marketplace value, then you okay for her test driving, potentially having a test drive multiple people before she come to you? What is the narrative that she's saying? No, she may not be doing that. That's what I'm saying. She may not be doing that.
That's the lies y'all tell Cole. She might not be doing that. Yes, she is.
Doing that all day, every day.
You 30-something years old, and you gonna try to tell me you ain't? Come on now, everybody done had sexy.
Yes,
I'm saying maybe once or twice, but I'm not saying every guy she date.
You got a couple. Because most of them got kids. So you're going to tell me you got a kid already.
Okay,
Because you're
so one
35
that
with
don't
a
hold
kid.
on.
Or
One, okay,
35 with
wait.
2 kids.
Nuh-uh.
Not you.
One
I'm
that
just
don't
saying,
have
though,
kids. I'm
come on
telling
now.
you, one that don't have kids did. Because let's take one that don't have kids.
So that's like a
One
little.
that
That's
don't
a
have kids.
minority. That's a very small. That's
Here y'all
small.
go.
No, it
That's
could. Okay, so hold on. It could be a minority, but to
So
Cole's point, I think we have to be honest. It still exists. So there's still women out here. No, I'm just keeping it a buck. There's still women out here that ain't been to the test drive 10, 15, 20 times.
But see, Quay, that's the problem. We got to talk about the general population. The general population that had more than 2 or 3 sexual partners if you're 35 years old.
No, I understand that. I understand the general.
If you done been in the church and you need to find your little church guy who okay with it, but don't go out there and try to get no smooth talker cat. You need to go find your little church guy
The church guy is
and be
slick this.
good with the missionary all the time.
No, I
But see, they ain't good with
understand.
the missionary all the time either. They say all this, but then you get a guy and the sex ain't good, then you want to leave him. I done heard so many people, I waited, but now the sex ain't good. Well, it shouldn't be about sex, right? It ain't about sex. It's about y'all getting a connection and Let's just keep
I
it 100.
understand.
If the sex ain't good, they ain't staying.
I understand what you're saying, Vince.
Come on, B-Box, give me that. They ain't staying.
I think this particular conversation, though, I think this particular conversation that we having right now can still apply to a minority. Now, I know we're talking about the general public, right? But the person that will be having this conversation right now, they're not playing out in the general public like that. Now, the person that they looking for, the let's just say the husband that they looking for, he may exist out in the public form of the public range or whatever. But essentially, she probably still looking for a dude who ain't been all over the place. Yeah, there's still some dudes out here who ain't been all over the place. But what she's also saying is out in this public arena, and I said, correct me if I'm wrong, Cole. She's saying out in this public arena, more and more guys are leading with sex. Yep, and that's the changeover. So I can understand that because that's what's going on out here. And I said, and I think, to your point, Vince, earlier, you know what I'm saying, ladies have messed that up. Yep, I think, to Coco's point, there was a lot of free hunching going on. So now dudes is like, you ain't about to play me like that. Yeah, that's the mentality that some fellas is going to take on these days. I'm out here spending this money, taking women on dates, trying to get to know you, this and that, and you playing with me. So now it's like, instead of playing games, we just going to get right to it. But then on the flip side, for the woman, because there's still some women out here who think this way, for the women out here who still think, I'm not out here like that, I'm not playing games, unfortunately, now they gonna get caught up in the game playing.
But then I think that also that men will get that and understand that too. They'll get and understand, okay, she not like the rest of these women. Because men understand that. Come on, men know.
I feel you.
When they meet you, they'll know if you done been around the way.
Yeah, I feel you.
But and they know when you haven't.
The smell.
So a man will see Cole and be like, okay, talk to, okay, she ain't playing no games. So you know when somebody playing games.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I think
most of the time they bum baby daddies.
Yeah, I think that's a certain type of dude, right? So a certain type of dude, he can engage with a woman, have conversation with her, and he be like, oh, okay, you not one of them hot ones. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm at to move a little differently with you. I see what you on. So you ain't out in the streets, you ain't letting everybody get to your body, or you only got one body on you and you 35, like, oh, okay, you on that serious stuff. So you know what I'm saying? That's I'm just giving the example. So I understand what you're saying.
You
Vince.
talking about a unicorn. One body at 35.
One body. Who is that?
One body.
I'm just saying.
One.
Can we inspect her?
She high in front. Go, Inspector Gadget. Man, no, you can't. No.
These fellas, man, they over here cracking me up on this panel tonight. She hiding
from all the shenanigans is what she doing. She hiding.
She'd have been wifed.
Y'all scared her. Y'all done scared her.
One at 35. Somebody would have found her by now. Somebody would have found her and wifed her by now. At 35 with one body.
That
No, I
means she's
feel you.
loyal.
I feel you, but see what I'm saying? The fellas, he gotta get to that information though. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing. So you gotta have that conversation with her. Now, if she revealed that to your point, Vince, if she revealed that to you and you be like, hey, you know what I'm saying, what you been into? And she be like, oh, you know what I'm saying, if me and you got to that point, you'd only be my second one. And you be like, oh, for real? Like on some serious stuff? Then yeah, to your point, Vince, yeah, she probably would get swooped up real quick.
Let me
That
say,
ain't the norm out here.
Yeah, no,
Who
it's
was that,
cold.
JR? Go ahead, JR.
Yeah, no, like I said, sorry, not like I said, but obviously people made their points, right? And I understand what you're trying to say, and what Miss Coco was saying as well in terms of the women that are trying to be serious are getting grouped in with, you know, the other ladies or whatnot. And I totally understand why you're saying that it shouldn't be a tangible, whatever it was that beatboxer said, right? I think the problem is that that women today want to negotiate a lot. So because of that, I think it's a case of men are saying like, all right, cool, because you want to negotiate and there's not an expectation on you, I'm gonna have to say it as it is. This is what I expect now, because it should just be a case of we both understand that we're gonna have sex. There's gonna be days where you're not gonna want to have sex. Cool, we understand that. Go on, sorry, I can't hear you. Go on.
I'm saying, what makes you think I'm gonna have sex like that though? Like, where's the assumption coming from? What if I ain't trying to?
No,
What if I'm not trying to be active like that? I don't
no,
like.
no, say,
Where
no,
is
say,
the assumption that we gotta be active like that?
no,
You
no,
may
say,
not
no,
even have the emotional intelligence to be active like that. I don't understand the assumption.
no. I'm saying, two people are going to want to have sex, but of course, as men, we understand you women at times is not going to want to have sex. We understand that as men, right? But what we're saying is, before the relationship, unfortunately, she's throwing it down, and then when she gets into the relationship, all of a sudden she wants to negotiate. How you go? How's that happen?
Oh,
That's
come on.
that's the confusion. Now, I'm
Wait,
not
are
saying
we
that's
talking
you,
about?
anybody. I'm just saying, just in general, that's the confusion where the women are throwing
Well,
it down, right?
it's a
And
whole
then
other thing
when they
there.
get into the relationship, that's when they want
Ooh.
to start to take it off the table. Now, when they get into the relationship with that said man.
Oh, so you're saying after? Okay, so I thought we were talking about in the dating phase. You're talking
Oh
about in
yeah,
the relationship phase.
oh yeah. So before she gets with you, she's throwing
Uh-huh.
it down everywhere, and
Oh,
then when she gets with you, whether you got it, before that or not, you might get into the relationship, but then she wants to start to, dim it down a little bit and whatnot, and start playing games and all that sort of stuff. That's what's happening. So that's what as men are saying, hey, you know what? Once upon a time, that used to come on the back end. Hey, keep it on the front end, baby. Because that's what you've been doing. So don't change now.
I have a question for Cole. So are you talking about you are intentionally dating for marriage, or you just dating? And are you saying that you're not going to have sex until you married? See, we got to get some clarifications.
I
Are
don't
you
want to have
talking
sex till
about
I'm married.
you don't want to have? You said you don't want to have sex till you married.
Yeah.
We're not
I
talking.
don't
We're
want
not
Who?
talking. We're not talking
Not
code
necessarily
directly.
you,
Yeah, we talking in
not you
general. We're talking
directly,
in general.
but that's a hard pickle to. That's a hard
I
knot to
don't.
unknot.
I
Oh,
really
pun
don't
intended.
see the issue.
That's one of
I,
them. That's one of them knots
I
you got to
don't.
cut off. You got to cut that out. You can't even unknot that knot. That
not
knot you be
But
picking with
I
that
don't
knot
see
trying to.
why.
not
I
a
don't
Cold
see
hard
why
breeze,
it's
pickle.
bro.
hard
Oh,
though.
that's
So
Why?
wait.
hard.
Okay. So let me pose the question. Let me pose the question. So Cole. So we
Mm-mm.
speaking in general. We not talking about you directly.
Just general, general.
We gonna keep it general. So Cole, question to you. So the ladies today, how would they want it to go? So they want to date the man. How do they want it to play out? So give me that scenario so I understand how the ladies ideally would like it to go.
I think ideally they would want it to go that they have a date, an initial date, have the initial conversation. If the interest is there, then they go on the second date. Ideally, the man pay on the first date and the woman should pay on the second date because now this is a mutual investment.
Okay.
And I mean, each day obviously is more serious about specific questions. If the dating aspect goes well, then you move on to the phase where I guess y'all start going to like mutual events. At some point, then when those mutual events be between your parents had those serious conversations, like cultural conversations, past conversations, traditional conversations, what have you. And that's like the cycle for like a I don't know, I guess depending on the age, year and a half, 2 years, and then y'all move on to engagement.
Okay, I like to say something. I think that's an issue too. Is that we want to date like we 21 and we 31 and 41. I don't really know and this is not to you, Cole, but I think we've experienced too much to have that type of mindset. That you're going to be with somebody for a year or two, you're not going to have sex with them, and when you get married, what if his penis is small?
Well, then my thing is then as a man move the timeline up and pop the question early to give me my ring then. Like
No.
you
I mean,
can't
I
have.
said, what if his penis is small and the sex ain't good? Because you done had sex before, so it's not like he's the only one that you'll ever be with. So you don't know nothing better. See, that's the issue too. We're not talking about. We want to sit up here and act like, it don't matter if the sex is good because I'm married now and I'm just gonna not be pleasured and not be satisfied because I'm married. That's that. You can do that at maybe 18 or 19 because you ain't had sex before. But when you done had sex, especially for women, because men, we go pretty much get it regardless. Women, y'all different. Y'all gotta have the feeling. You gotta have the right motion. It ain't like any penis will do. For men, any vagina will do pretty much. It's all work the
Come
same.
on.
Come on, guys. It all work the
I
same.
mean,
It's all
okay,
the same. Yeah, you're right.
any hardware equipment that doesn't have emotion will do. But if she has emotion and she expects it to be like the
What if he's not affectionate like you've experienced affection?
that's what I was gonna say.
See,
So
that's
I
the
think I was gonna say, so can it be for me, I think it's valid for one of those conversations and dates. You can talk about intimacy and sex. And I
What
think
man is going to
if
sound
that
small? What man is going to be like, hey, I
what
can't, I got ED? What man's going to do that?
a grown mature man?
No
What you
man's doing that.
mean?
No man's doing that.
that's
You
the
still lying to
delusion.
yourself. You still
That's
lying
the
to yourself
delusion that
after
we talk
30?
about.
Come on.
And
Come
you'll be
on.
married to him
okay,
for
but
2 years and divorced him because you'll be saying, I'm not satisfied.
But
But
small,
what?
okay, but small for one, okay, but small. Let's
No.
be clear.
I'm talking about.
But small for one woman, it might not be small for the other woman.
We know what we're
That's
talking
that
about. The
delusion
sky's blue,
again.
the wild's
That's
wet.
that
We know
delusion
what
again.
small is.
Come on now.
Everybody don't need the shalom.
They really
Everybody don't
don't.
need
If
that.
they make up with
Okay.
the
All right.
emotional connection and
Okay, so hold on.
engagement, that goes a
Good
long
So
Lord.
way.
That's that
hold on. Let
delusion.
me circle
Cutting
back.
Oh
That's
Let me
that
my
circle back.
delusion.
God.
Let me circle back. So
Oh
I heard
shit.
all of y'all points. So let me circle back. So going back to what you said, Cole, I know we was talking in general. So you said that basically, this guy take you on a date, he pay for the first date, second date come around, you know what I'm saying? She might throw money on the second date, show that she in it along with him. Okay, so they spend some time, they develop, meet each other's families, had those conversations. Okay, so you said a year and a half, 2 in. Then it's like, okay, he go ahead and pop his question and y'all move forward. Then at that point, then there's some physical activity that takes place. So is that pretty much what you were saying? After he made the commitment and it's official, then that's when we at that
What
point.
you
Is
said?
that what
1 year?
that's
She
what you
said
1
were
year?
saying?
marriage. She said
A year
marriage.
in?
That's what I'm saying. So she said after a year and a half, 2 years, then he make his commitment. They get married. then the physical act takes place. Did I have a scenario somewhat right, Cole? Was that right?
Yeah, I got one question.
So then you also said if you also said that if it didn't want to go that long, if he didn't want to go that long, then he could speed up the engagement. You said that as well. So let's just say he cut it down to 6 months. So he say, okay, 6 months, I'm feeling you. I love you. We in love. Let's get married. So then at that point, you saying that's some physical action to take place. If he speed up the commitment. So it's all based on the commitment. That's what you're saying.
I have a question, a quick question. I gotta ask this question. Wait, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now during all this time, can he not tell you how much he make and where he work at?
Can he not tell me how much he
Yeah, you don't know his income,
question.
you don't know where he
Good
work at, you
question.
don't know can he provide.
Good
That's
question.
the same.
Wouldn't that come
Yes,
up
that's
mutually?
the same.
Wouldn't it
That's
come
the
up
same.
mutually?
Yes.
Good
Huh?
question.
Wait,
Yes, that's
what?
the same. You get me, Quay? You get
No,
me?
I'm
Good question.
what you
That's the
saying?
same.
Wait,
No,
what?
I understand what you're saying.
That's
So
the
basically,
same.
at the end of the day, if the woman is saying that she's going to withhold her physical attributes, essentially he's withholding his resources, right? So this is that conversation. Would you be open to that, Cole? Or basically, would ladies in general be open to that?
If I withdraw sex, if he withdraws his money and resources, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that
Right, basically,
you're in the dark about how he can provide for you until you're married. Then he tells you, I work at McDonald's and I make $5 an hour. But you just want the commitment.
But
He's still the same guy. Right?
What you saying?
He's still the same guy.
wouldn't that be part of the conversation between him and I? Like, wouldn't that be part of the mutual conversation? Why not?
No, Cole. It's a question. So basically, would you be okay? Because this is really what it comes down to. So for women in general, would they be okay if they did not know what they were getting until the commitment was made? So essentially, this guy don't know what he's gonna physically get from you until he commits. So then on the flip side, then would you be okay not knowing what you would get from him prior to the commitment? So that's kind of, I think that's where Vince was going with. Is that right, Vince?
Yes.
All right. So Cole, what's the position? What you think the ladies would say position wise on that? Would they be okay not knowing if they about to get a providing masculine man prior to the commitment?
So
that scenario.
Generally excluding me, then no. They would not be okay with that, because I'm thinking, because you said providing
we keeping it
traditional
general.
man. So under those pretenses, then no, they would not be okay.
But
why would they not be okay with that? Why would they not be okay with it?
You know why?
But I'm saying if I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you answer the question, and then I'll piggyback. It's crazy.
I'm thinking based off the comment of going under a traditional masculine man. Under those pretenses, then no, because then traditionally the
woman.
Wait. I said I was going under the pretense of what question?
But he's the same person. He's got the same character. He loves God. You just don't know how much he make. You just don't know where he work at.
But
you want to know these things because you want to have okay. If I'm marrying him, I want to know what's going on. He's still the same guy.
But
you have the commitment.
It's
not. Why can't that be part of the conversation?
No,
I don't
it's
get.
Not.
It's not.
Ask
and I
the
don't.
men. Ask the men. Is it
It's
the same
not
thing?
the same. But you're asking the woman a question. It's not the same.
Yes.
Okay.
Because this is why I say it's not the same, right? This is why I say it's not the same. Let's talk about the sex for a second. You're not the only one getting something out of it. Sex is, and you've said this before, Vince, it's a mutual thing, right? Mm-hmm. So she's getting something out of it, you're getting something out of it. Her saying, I'm gonna wait until we're married means that she also don't know what you're working with either. She won't know what she's getting either. She's taking a chance too, not knowing physically what she's gonna get from you either. Y'all just talked about the small P. Like she don't know she could be setting herself up to get that. But she's saying this particular thing matters to me more. Me waiting to get this commitment, this level of commitment before I put myself in this like that physically matters to me more than me caring about whether he's big or not. So I'm taking that physical risk that his stuff might not be what I'm used to, but it is what it is.
But you won't take the money risk though.
So I feel like
take the money risk.
So I feel like that right there, that's equal. If you're talking about, okay, well, if she's willing to risk it, that I might not be a good fit for her, so I risk it that maybe, I don't know, she got something that ain't working for her on her end. But when we start talking about the logistics of how we're compatible in every other sense of the word, right? So I think that's different, right? Like we're now talking about as a man, right? We know that you guys provide resources. We understand that you guys provide protection and provision, but that's not the only thing that men provide. Men don't only just provide provision and protection. We understand that those two things are important. We understand that they are at the top of the list, but they are not all that you provide. We can't have a conversation on one topic and say, why women always reduce men to only being protection and provision, but then now you're doing it, right? Women don't only just provide sex. That's not the only thing we bring. So then for us to say, well, since you're going to hold off this one thing, you have the other stuff, but you're going to hold off this thing from me. So I'm going to hold off my provision and my protection from you. It's like, now, so are we saying now that men are only good for their provision and their protection, and women are only good for their sex? Because
I didn't say only good. I'm just saying what's important.
So we're rating them at the same level, but you're putting them at the same priority level. When you say that since she took that off the table, you taking this off the table. So you're putting them on the same level though. So even without you saying the words, you're still doing it because it's your actions. You're basically saying that your protection and your provision rank the same as her sex.
Yeah, it does.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
You're saying they rank
the same.
Yeah.
It's about what people value. It's about what they value.
Say it again. I'm sorry, Hirsch.
I was gonna say it's about I think the point they're trying to make is like, so for example, it's about what we value. So like the woman that can wait a year without sex, that's not important to her. That's not what she values. But she may be. No, I'm not saying totally. I'm talking about just to the same level as the guy. If the guy's ready to do it now, but I'm just equally at the same time, the guy that's making money or whatever, he doesn't really care too much about if she's making money or not, even though she may want him to be making a certain amount of money to be able to provide. So it's about the value, you know what I'm saying? So that's what he's saying. So what he means is like, so since if that's what's important to her, to make sure he can provide for her, this and that, just like for the guy, it's important to him is that, he getting them sheets, whatever. That's why he's saying that's his point of saying. So, but would you sacrifice that, or would you wait? You know what I'm saying, to know about what you value. So that goes back to what I was saying about like it just seems like if y'all not on the same page initially about these things, don't even try it. Just
move around. I agree. I think if that's so, here's the thing. If, like her said, I totally agree. If that's the level that a man is on, if you're ready to rank me not wanting to be physically intimate with you because I don't know you like that, if you're willing to put that up there with whether or not you can provide or for family and protect, like, then Hirsch is right. Like, move around, because now we're sitting here saying that they're the same.
They are.
We're literally saying that they are ranked the same, right? So we're saying, even though it's kind of odd to me. Like, I'm not saying I don't understand where you're coming from. I just don't think that makes sense. Like, to say that physical intimacy is ranked up there with like your kind of masculine qualities. That's like, so are we now saying that my feminine qualities the most important part of my feminine qualities is my sex?
No, I think you missed what I said was.
No, I heard you.
That you can be masculine and all that, but you didn't actually. No, well, this is what I'm saying, Chloe. That you didn't know where I worked or how much money I had. I still had a house. I still was able to take you to dinner. I still was able to do the things as a masculine man. But you didn't actually know that I worked at Ford and I was on the line. You didn't know where I worked at. You didn't know nothing about that. But then after we got married, you found out I was working at McDonald's.
Yeah,
that would be different.
That doesn't change it. It doesn't change it for me.
Okay,
like,
well let's ask the men. Let's ask the men on the panel. Ask Beatbox. Ask.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say ask Quay because I don't want to get y'all in trouble. Ask
You asked me away. You asked me away.
Oh no,
Mr. Price, what do you think?
No, I don't think that's cool.
Y'all ain't about to give with me like that. Go ahead, B-Box. It's on you, man.
I will say, I'm not saying that men view sex as it's not necessarily transactional, but I will say this: it kind of is kind of another conversation. No. Let me explain, because there's this conversation about the community and how some parts of our community are messed up, right? I'm going to connect it. Trust me, right? And women are saying, hey, can you help me with this or that? My children and this and that. A lot of men are saying, but I didn't do that, right? I didn't have sex with you and have your children. Why do you want me to protect the community, provide my resources if I didn't get any sex from you or anything like that from you? That in and of itself is a crux of the issue. I'm not saying men are saying you have sex with me and that's that. You can't have my protection and provision and all that, right? Without some sort
and
of
not have sex with me. That is
I'm saying commit. I'm doing commitment because I'm trying to make it a little more highbrow. I'm going to make it a little more highbrow. I'm not saying like you have to have sex with a person the first, because I think it went to another place.
Okay, so second date. Still the same.
Literally, because at the point that you asking for help, if you ask for any small thing, they really like where the girls at.
Yeah, because you're asking for things
that how it is.
Okay, all right. You're asking for things that you're asking for a husband's qualities without giving other stuff. So you can't be asking for help from me. You're not.
So my only quality is sex, man. Like I said,
yes.
I didn't say you.
I didn't say you. Everything else.
I didn't say you. See, everyone's making it personal. I'm talking about general.
We said we were single.
Women in general.
Oh my God.
Women in general.
No, wait, give it up. B-Box. So okay, it ain't.
Women in general
I'm
offer
not
nothing.
asking for help with the kids.
Okay.
So let's say give me another example. I don't know. I'm asking you to.
But we're talking about general. Most women have had sex. Most women have kids.
So
and they bring nothing to the table.
And then also,
if they bring nothing, what are they good for?
Then also, a man is going to say you gave your prized possession to somebody you want. It'll be different if you had a husband and you got divorced saying this. But if you was a single woman that had sex, you done gave your prized possession to somebody you wasn't married to. But the man that you prized possession? Sex.
And a child.
Her room. Sex and womb.
So you done
Stop playing like you don't want to own it. Stop acting like y'all don't want to own it.
That's like a man saying, Chloe, that's like a man saying, my first wife didn't have to work, but you're gonna have to work.
Why? Because I required it from my first wife. Basically, this is weird. This is just weird stuff. Like y'all saying you gave your prized possession away, but y'all requiring it. You don't get to say that.
No,
you don't get to say.
We're talking about now.
You do not get to say you gave your prized possession away when you're also on the next breath saying,
give it away.
It's required of me. It's required of you to give it to me.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
gonna say listen, we're being too nice here.
You gave it away, but it's a requirement that you got to give it away.
Listen, if I'm gonna look after your kids,
so Chloe, it's just like if anything, say if you was on your second marriage and you knew that this man took care of his first wife, she ain't have to work, but then now he about to marry you, but now you got to work. Now you got to pay half the
I wouldn't
mortgage.
marry him.
Oh,
why?
Oh,
that's the point.
Oh,
why?
I wouldn't marry him.
Oh,
because you gonna feel like you get the
I
short
wouldn't
end of the
marry him.
stick.
Just
Oh,
like
you
I
get
would
the
tell a
short
chick
end of the
that's running
deal.
across the dude that's saying you gotta sleep with me. I wouldn't date him.
That's not
But
the
she's
same.
got kids and
That is
sorry.
not the
I
same.
wouldn't date him.
All right.
Quay already
Derek,
told
go
y'all
Derek.
earlier, we are not
Wouldn't
talking
settle for
about the women who are in that scenario. We're talking about the women who are not. We keep telling y'all that, but y'all keep wanting to go back to the majority. Y'all keep wanting to go back to the majority, even though we have told y'all we are not talking about the majority. Every conversation can't be about the majority, because then when do we talk to the people who are out here that's trying to do what they're supposed to do? When do we give them advice? If we're always talking about the ratchets.
So people having sex is ratchet?
Man, stop it.
Let y'all tell it. Let y'all tell it.
But my thing is,
let y'all tell it.
My thing is the quality man
they
that's gonna
baby
come.
mamas,
But
they
see, my
hunting
thing,
for free, they ratchet.
but my thing, a high quality value man, you gonna want to give it to him. You ain't gonna be one. You gonna want to.
But if I got some discipline, yeah, I want to give it to him. But that don't mean I.
And you gonna do it? Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Man, oh
okay.
man. Man, I gotta
my
take,
wife would have
man.
said, I ain't gonna get.
We gotta wrap this. This done got hot. Cole, this your fault.
That's
your
fine.
fault, Cole.
I'll take it.
Cole.
Take the flame.
It's your fault, Cole. See, we wasn't even
That's
supposed to do
fine.
this.
We don't
like
Look
11:20.
here. I'm trying to get perspective. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to move, because
So this is
y'all.
the thing, Cole.
I think with you, Cole, you're gonna have to be really just upfront and be very affectionate. Be very affectionate.
While I'm paying most of the bills too.
Yeah.
What you
Yeah.
do? What?
Yeah. Pay most
What
of the
you want?
bills.
That's
Yeah.
your
That's how y'all making it sound, because I ain't gonna give it up. So I'm gonna have to be affectionate and pay most of the bills.
Yeah,
Because I
you gotta
don't want
see.
to
She
have sex with
understands
the
the
dude.
game because she likes to
Yeah, JR.
negotiate. Pay up.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how it goes.
Wait. What
Sounds like a
JR
lot
just
of
say? Pay up.
convincing.
You heard him right. Quay, you heard him.
I think no, I don't think it can't be done. I just think you have to go about it. I mean, you got to be real upfront and really make a stance on really that he's gonna have to believe it's not just a one offer. Like you really are committed to this. You done changed your life. You done gave your life to the Lord for real. You know what I'm saying? And you want to give him your best. You're gonna have to be a actress on this one. You got to be like, I want to give you the best of me. I don't want to give you what I gave everybody else. I want to give you something special. You're gonna have to really sell this man. And he'll be like, well, maybe I'll wait because she's gonna give me something special.
Not gonna happen.
Man,
You need a date of
It
Jehovah's
might
Witness.
happen.
Date of
The
Jehovah's
right
Witness.
dude.
You gotta debate.
y'all
You got
over here.
you gotta be with the Orthodox Jew. You gotta be with somebody like that.
Y'all out cold, man.
That's so
Cole,
mean.
to
Or
sum this
get
up,
you an
Cole.
old man, or get you an old man that's he can't do it but once or twice a month anyway.
Maybe Shannon Sharp.
In his 60s.
Quay, don't say that. Quay, don't say that.
You have to take a pill or two,
I'm just
that
gonna
might be
say
a good.
this.
That might be an option. Get your man that don't want no sex.
I'm
one
just
or
gonna
two
say
times a
this.
month.
I think Herschel, he probably said it as accurately as it can be said. Yeah, you gonna have to essentially if y'all get into y'all little engagement and y'all not on the same, y'all ain't looking at stuff the same way, y'all ain't moving the same, then you just gonna have to move around.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what it's gonna have to be, because at the end of the day, like I said, I agree with you, Cole. There's still a minority of people out here who are trying to move different. So they're not out here passing it around to everybody. There's ladies out here who not letting any dude run up and through her. There's still some dudes out here, just keeping it a buck. There's still some dudes out here who ain't just running through chicks. Like, let's just be honest. Like, that still exists. I know that's not the majority of people these days, but it still exists. So it is definitely the minority. Yep. So if you're not running into the dude, you know what I'm saying, who who is kind of aligning or got similar, like-minded, as they say, saying, to what you're trying to be on or how you're trying to move, then you got to move around. That just is what it is. But at the same time, I will say this. In those situations of those minorities of people who want to move that way, I do feel like, though, you're going to have to be the best version of yourself. So you're going to have to come to the table correct, because for the dude who says that he's going to align with that, and he ain't been all over the place, and he been holding his stuff together, you know what I'm saying, and having his discipline and all of that, he going to want a special woman. Yeah, he going to want a woman that he's not going to have a doubt in saying, you know what, this the one right here. I'm going to be cool. We're going to go about this thing the right way, and then we're going to make it happen the right way. We ain't having no kids, pre-marriage, and none of that. We're going to get married, then we're going to have some kids, and then we're going to move happily ever after. So that's why I said I think those people in that situation, they're going to have to be the best version of themselves, just keeping it a buck. Yeah, they ain't gonna be able to be out here not with their stuff together and all that. Cause see, once again, that doesn't align. Yeah, so the person who thinks that way, man or woman, they're gonna be looking for that other person to be on point, thinking that same way. Yep, so that's gonna be the key piece that's gotta be there. You're gonna have to be on point. Yeah, but I'm talking all the way around, not just in certain areas. You're gonna have to be on point all the way around, because like Vince said earlier, and I know we laugh at it, but it's true. That's a unicorn in 2025. Yeah, folks don't even think like that no more. Yeah, so that dude who looking to commit and lock you down, then get physical with you, then want to provide and take care of you, make sure you got everything. Them dudes they fading. Yep. So if you want to be that woman that gets scooped up by that dude, you got to come correct. I'm just keeping it a buck. In general, for the ladies, not at you, Cole. All right, Cole, since you went on and blew this up and it's almost 11:30, now I'm taking some closing and we getting up out of here. I'm going to come across the top, the bottom, and we gone. Coco, what you want to say before we get out of here tonight?
Good conversation as always.
For sure.
Black people lack discernment. Yeah, I would have to say right now, to be honest, though, with everything going on in the world, obviously it's not just Black people who lack discernment. I just think that overall we lack discernment, and you can even say that an element of discernment is wisdom, and I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see wisdom in a 56-year-old man dating a 19 or 20-year-old woman. That's not wisdom. I know that just because you can do it, just because you can do it and it is legal and all of that, doesn't necessarily mean you should be doing it, right? Just don't set yourself up. There are just some things that are just like, maybe it's not, it's moral, but it's not ethical, right? Like you just shouldn't be doing it, right? And it's just my personal opinion. I don't think that we should be leading with sex. I think leading with sex got us here. I think that's how we got here. Women starting to hunch for free. Now men just expect that it comes with the territory. It comes, and when you don't, now, so there's something wrong, right? So now because you don't want to, what's the problem? You don't really like me like that? So this is at the root of it. Sex was at the root of Shannon's problem. Sex is at the root of the problem in our community. We talk about these statistics and we say, well, it's a small group of men that are procreating with all of these women and creating all these babies. Sex is at the root of that issue. Like, I think that we need to start paying attention to that. If we are getting to the point where we're seeing that there is a problem, then let's look at the root of the problem and let's address the problem at the root. We keep wanting to address the symptoms. We keep wanting to tell ladies to close their legs. Do women need to close their legs? Sure they do. Is that the root of the problem, though? Not if you have men now saying, well, since y'all opened y'all legs once upon a time, now you're just going to have to keep them open. You never get to close them. Nope. They got to stay open now.
24 hours.
7-Eleven, 24 hours a day. They gotta stay open. So I mean, if this, I'm making a joke out of it, but think about it, guys. Like, if this is where we are, this is where we're gonna stay. So we actually have to take a look at our mindset and some of the things that we think, and some of the behaviors that we've been perpetrating, and we have to go: is there space for correction? Is there some changes that need to happen? If we really are invested in real change in our community, then yes, the answer is yes.
Okay, appreciate that closeout, Coco. Beatboxer, it's on you, man.
Okay, so about the topic, especially when we're talking about the Shannon Sharp issue, yeah, I think there's a decent amount of us that like discernment, and I would say discipline too. So I think sometimes that goes hand in hand, and we just have to be more cognizant of like who we're around, what we're doing, and if you're going to do dirt, try to do dirt in some sort of silence. And if you're going to do dirt, don't do dirt with people who are hookers. On the other piece, because I'll say this, I understand the conversation we just had about the sex and men wanting and expecting that. I think men are just, what we're doing is adapting to what's going on. So if I know that there are men out here getting it for free, I would also like to get it for free, right? Because I think that, like, that in and of itself shows that you like me like that. So, and I think most of the guys would agree with me on that. So, and most guys are actually disciplined with not having children. So it's just kind of is what it is. Now, if you're in the minority of people where you don't want to have sex till you're married, good luck. It's probably not going to happen. And that's me as a Christian telling you, good luck. It's going to be real hard to find, especially women. It's going to be real hard for you to find somebody who is going to wait years or months for that to happen. It's going to be, that's just this is the time we're living in. And I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying that just is what it is. So, and especially if you're a woman who says, I'm reformed. Oh, I know I had sex before, but now I'm going to be I'm going to be honest. A lot of men going to look at you like, pfft. So if you're one of those women who was a reformed, I'm reformed, and I'm celibate. I ain't doing this no more. I'm doing this and that. And yeah, I'm doing all that. It's a lot of men ain't hearing that. You need to, we ain't playing that. So Coco, I do understand what you're saying, but I'm saying that that's not the deal that most of us are running into. Most of us are running into women who've done a lot of dirt, then talking about, well, you need to do this for me, while I have done all these things and now have a couple of kids. And a lot of men are saying, well, what that mouth do though? I'm done.
Man, oh man. All right, appreciate that closeout, Beatboxer. Cole, it's on you. What you want to say before we get out of here?
Oh, Lord. To the topic, Black people lack discernment. Based on this conversation, a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah.
Take that shot. Go ahead and take that shot.
A little bit. I think that there is a loss in focus of the long-term goal. And it sounds like we got a lot of distraction. And I think I wonder if, to align us, do we need some of them traditional aspects from other people where we might have to arrange some folks, strip away some powers to get it right? Do we need that?
Okay. That's where you want to leave it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I ain't mad at you. I feel like we brought up these arranged marriages, but yeah, you still want to have some input or something last time. I think that's what you said. Ain't that what you said, Cole?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all done made her change her mind.
You saying tie women down? Is that what you're saying?
Huh?
Is that you saying tie women down?
Tie him down.
I
No, not like that, JR. What you mean
Marriage.
tie him down?
That's dangerous to put that out there for these women, man. It's dangerous.
I'm gonna let you hold on. I'm gonna let you explain yourself when you hit your closing. Hold that thought, JR. Herschel, let me come over to you, man. What you want to say before we get out of here, man?
Okay, about a lot of people lacking discernment. So yeah, I think that's. I mean, again, with the increase of all the like the access to things, technology, social media, just having things our way, when we want it, how we want it, it's created a way of life for us to like just want things the way we want it. And so, like even right now, like again, so we were wearing blinders to the fact that my point was making earlier was about saying that, like, back in the day, we knew right off the bat, like if somebody wasn't a match for us, you know what I'm saying? But now we just like, we're taking in all these considerations and we're, they're saying, well, maybe they'll come around or maybe this or that, or blah, 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 but we're not, being wise. We're not making wise choices. It's about the choices that we make. And so again, we have to kind of work on that discernment piece where we can just avoid these things altogether. We won't even have these conversations about getting mad about if someone wants you to have sex and because I'm not even there. I'm over here. I'm over to the left. I'm not even dealing with that population of people. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, who's the judge? You know what I'm saying? God's the one to judge. That's how I look at it. So I can't say one person's view is worse than the other one, or one's better than the other one, or one's right or one's wrong. That's just how they feel. You know what I'm saying? Or what they believe, what they value. And so that's what I'm saying. If we focus in on what the two people value, if it matches, you can't really necessarily go wrong unless somebody's being a counterfeit. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're lying. But I'll leave with that and just say it's good seeing everybody. Weather's getting better. We still gotta do the little.
Yeah. For sure. No, we wanted to let the weather go ahead and flip, man. So then we can do a little something, move around.
I like them Cardis, boy. Vince, I like the shades. I like the Cardis.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And I appreciate that close out, Hirsch. Vince, it's on you, man.
Well, with the Shay point, he had a lot of us don't understand when we get to certain levels, we have to change the way we move. Just because it's not wrong doesn't mean it's right. And what I mean by that is the business that I own right now, I worked at for years. And when I was a worker like everybody else, I dated a few of the ladies that worked there, but we were on the same level. I was a worker, they were a worker. But once I became the owner, I never dated anyone that worked there. Not because I could have. I was single, but it wasn't wrong, but it wasn't right. And I think he had always moved like that, and he didn't understand that he was on a different level. And I think that he lacked the discipline. I know it's a phrase that says sometimes your character can't keep you where you are, or something like that. I know Quay, you
Right.
probably. And I think that was he's a $500 million man now. He can't move like he used to move and date this one and date that one and don't nobody care. He's on a different level, and I think he didn't understand that. And we're gonna see how it play out. But at the end of the day, it don't really matter because he already viewed as a certain way in the public eye. So even if it comes out that she was consensual and everything, he still might lose his job.
Yeah, no, that's true, man. That's what Chevy was saying in the video. It's just like, even if like I said, once again, I know we're saying it's all alleged at this point, but it's like just the fact that the accusation is made, it's going to have a level of tarnish on your brand.
Yeah.
And and like I said, corporations may pull their money back and say, you know what, no, we might not want to work with my man. He a liability. So he's not going to represent our brand well. So it's like you open yourself up, and it's like, for some minutes, for some minutes, you know what I'm saying, with an OF, girl. It's just like, was it worth 100 mil? Was it? So yeah, it's just to your point, Vince, we gotta move differently. Yes, when we in certain situations, I said, I hear a lot of guys today, which I'm happy to hear. I hear a lot of guys say it as, I have a lot to lose. Yep, and as a man who's achieved things or has a family or has a wife and all of that, that's how we got to look at it. Yep, I have a lot to lose. So the decisions that I make, I have to weigh those up against my situation. If I make this move with this female, how is this gonna hurt my family? If I'm over here entertaining this chick, you know what I'm saying, how is this gonna affect my wife? Like, we have to weigh our situation, in comparison to our choices and decisions. Yeah, but I just think sometimes guys don't do that. And for me, that's shit it is. It's a lack of discernment. It's a lack of discipline. Yeah, some of this stuff, man, it's just like, man, I ain't even got to entertain that. But folks still feel like they got to go play with it. Then once they get burned, then they looking for some sympathy. And this is like, bro, you ain't even had to go down that road, man. Like, how many you could have had on some secret? Like, and they wouldn't said nothing. It's like you picked the one. Like, how you? Well, I'm gonna leave that alone. It's all allegedly. So I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, let me come over here to JR. JR, it's on you, man. Now you go ahead and clarify what you were saying, so we understand what you was trying to say a minute ago, man.
Yeah, just to Miss Cole's point about going back to arrange marriages. Also, when I say tie them down, is more in the sense of, is that coming from the parents or is that coming from the ladies? Does that make sense? Because obviously, if the ladies are willing, that means they're taking themselves to the parents and asking for this. Does that make sense? But if it's coming from the parents, that's what's more like, ooh, that's not going to work. But yeah, thank you once again, obviously, for having me on. Great conversation as always. Yeah, black people, black men, money, sex, man, woman. It's always been a dangerous game, But obviously, Miss Cole's made some good points to obviously save men. Men, listen up. Sometimes you gotta listen to women. They're offering us a way out. They're saying, "Hey, I will pay not to have sex. Take the deal, man. Take the deal." Cause look at Shannon Sharp's black ass, man. That's the most expensive sex in the history of mankind. 50 million allegedly. If it is, that's crazy. So yeah, I guess that goes to show that we're lacking that discernment, man. Wisdom, men, listen to women, take the money, let them pay, man. And it ain't gonna cost you a lot. 50 million is a lot. Take the deal. Thank you.
All right, no problem, man. Appreciate that closeout, man. Well, shout out to my panel, man. This is a wild night tonight, man. Great conversation. I know we went there, got a little hot, you know what I'm saying? Cole came in and she dropped the bomb, blew up the spot, but we had to go ahead and tackle that. I think it's a valid conversation. But even that conversation, it still ties back to discernment. Yeah, if your discernment ain't working, you might end up entertaining the wrong dude. Now you done caught yourself a body you ain't had to catch, and everything is just all out of whack. So yeah, we just really got to think about how we move in the decisions that we make. It's really what it sums up to. Shout out to my panel, Coco, Beatboxer, Herschel, Vince, JR, Cole, Joe was on earlier. Appreciate y'all holding me down. Shout out to everybody in the comments as well. Man, this is Kandid Konvos. We do the show every Wednesday night. We go live on YouTube and Facebook, so definitely smash that like button, hit that subscribe as well, hit that share. Man, y'all see how we get down. It's all genuine conversations. That ain't scripted. It's all organic. Whatever come out, it come out. But at the end of the day, we're going to move us in a better direction. We're going to drop the points. We're going to agree to disagree, whatever it ends up being. But it's going to be productive. I guarantee that. But, man, with that being said, everybody have an awesome night. And we will catch you guys next Wednesday.